Chapter 2041. Then make a copy. Remember, don't let anyone see it, Linny said. Han Jingjing said and started taking pictures with the tablet. After taking pictures of the condensing technique, Han Jingjing didn't touch the other things in the notes. Lin Yi didn't let her see it, and she didn't ask for it. At the back, there are some notes and recipes written by first and second level golden class refiners. You can buy them too and study them when you get back. Try making some simple elixirs. Since Lin Yi had taken out the notes, he wouldn't be stingy. But the higher level things, Lin Yi didn't want Han Jingjing to look at it for the time being. After all, Han Jingjing's strength hadn't reached that level yet. If she were to study those things too early, it would be like biting off more than she could chew. After taking pictures of the things she needed, Han Jingjing closed the notes and handed it back to Lin Yi. Lin Yi bro, I'm returning it to you. Jing will go back and study it. And call me anytime if there's any news. Lin Yi nodded and put the notes away. Han Jingjing went home happily with the tablet, and Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's back. The shock in his heart couldn't be any greater, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. Shield bro, that Han Jingjing seems to be very powerful? Yushu stood beside Lin Yi and said to Lin Yi, very powerful. Very powerful indeed. Lin Yi said, I'm afraid that the heavy responsibility of helping little girl Rock Candy refine pills will fall on her. Lin Yi had already lost confidence in his alchemy level, but he didn't expect that there would be a light at the end of the tunnel. He could wear out iron shoes in fruitless search, only to find it effortlessly. A neighbor and classmate that he met by chance was actually an alchemy genius. This scientific method of alchemy was simply unprecedented and would never be repeated in the future. Compared to Han Jingjing, those alchemists were simply too weak. This little girl was really not an ordinary kind of valiant. Shield bro, I don't think that Han Jingjing is stupid. Yushu said. Not stupid? Lin Yi blinked as he turned to Yushu. It's nothing, Shu was just saying. Yushu changed the topic after that. Shield bro, it's time for breakfast. Grandma's son's ready. Is it time for breakfast already? Lin Yi didn't think that a night had passed without him noticing. If he knew this would happen, he would have asked Han Jingjing to stay for breakfast. After breakfast, Lin Yi didn't waste any more time and went back to his room to train. Even if it was Han Jingjing, due to the limitations of her own strength, she probably wouldn't be able to concoct a golden third-level elixir, so the only thing he could do was to increase his strength. As long as Lin Yi became a Sky-class master and increased Han Jingjing's strength to Earth-class late-phase peak, then Han Jingjing might be able to make Ice Heart Jade Bone Pill. Although, normally, Earth-class late-phase peak strength wasn't enough to support a Golden-class third-level refiner's refinement, and the weakest one would be a Sky-class early-phase master, but Han Jingjing's refinement and control method had been simplified and improved. Han Jingjing would probably be able to make a Golden-class third-level pill when she was Earth-class late-phase peak. And Lin Yi could only place his hope on this. This was a goal. He wanted to become a Sky-class, and Han Jingjing a Golden-class third-level refiner. This way, no matter how domineering Bingtang Girl was, she wouldn't make things difficult for Feng Xiaoxiao. Since he had this goal, Lin Yi naturally couldn't waste any more time. He had to work hard. Thinking about how Han Jingjing worked hard every day to calculate some formulas and meridian diagrams, even when she was walking, this gave Lin Yi the motivation to work hard. But, not long after Lin Yi entered the Jade Space to train, he heard a loud sound not far from the villa. Even Lin Yi's room felt a little shaky. The loud sound brought Lin Yi back to reality from his training, and he quickly ran out of the room. Lin Yi could already confirm that the sound came from Han Jingjing's villa, and so Lin Yi's heart was even more anxious. Han Jingjing's importance to Lin Yi was very clear, and Lin Yi couldn't let any harm come to her. When Lin Yi came to the living room, Meng Yao and Yushu were also panicking. Lin Yi, you heard that loud sound too? Meng Yao asked anxiously. Yeah, I heard it. It seemed to come from Han Jingjing's villa. Lin Yi frowned. I don't know what happened. Then let's go check it out. Meng Yao, naturally, understood how important Han Jingjing's skills were to Lin. She quickly followed Lin Yi out of the villa, looking in the direction of Han Jingjing's villa. Seeing that there were no signs of damage outside Han Jingjing's villa, Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that the house didn't explode, but he didn't know what happened inside. Coming to the door of Han Jingjing's villa, Lin Yi quickly pressed the doorbell. After a while, someone came to open the door, but it wasn't Han Jingjing, but Han Jingjing's brother, Han Xiaoqiao. However, although it was Han Xiaoqiao who opened the door, Lin Yi still breathed a sigh of relief, because Lin Yi didn't see too much panic on Han Xiaoqiao's face, which meant that the problem shouldn't be too big. Xiaoqiao, what happened just now? What made the loud sound? Lin Yi asked. The loud noise was caused by big sister Jingjing, but I don't know what she was doing. Her face was covered in soot, and she came out of the room with dirt all over her face. Then she went to take a bath. Han Xiaoqiao shook his head. He also didn't know what Han Jingjing was doing. Dirty and dirty? Lin Yi heard that Han Jingjing was fine, and she could still go to take a shower. He was relieved, so he said, then wait for her to finish taking a shower. And please come in. When Han Xiaoqiao came to open the door, he was still holding a book in his hand. Obviously, he was just studying. This brother and sister were really diligent, which made Lin Yi admire them. Chapter 2042. Date, 6th of November. While they were talking, the security patrol car of the property management company drove over quickly. Obviously, a nearby neighbor had called the property management company. The patrol car stopped, and a few security guards got out of the car and asked, "Excuse me, did the explosion happen here? What happened? Do you need help?" The owners of these luxurious villas were big customers of the property company, and their annual fees were tens of thousands of yuan. It was no wonder that they were so attentive, rushing to the scene as soon as something happened. "Oh, it's nothing. My friend might have accidentally blown up the pressure cooker while cooking." Lin Yi guessed that Han Jingjing must have encountered some problems when she was studying alchemy, but he couldn't tell the security the truth. He just found an excuse to cover it up. "I see, it's fine then." The leader of the security team let out a sigh of relief when he heard Lin Yi's words. He was afraid of a gas explosion or a high-voltage explosion. If these things exploded, it would be related to the property company's maintenance, and they would have to bear the responsibility. However, after hearing that it was just a pressure cooker explosion, and there seemed to be no casualties, he was naturally relieved. Thank you," Lin said. "It's fine, you guys are the owners of the villa next door, right? Just call us if anything happens." The security team leader saw that the door of Lin Yi's villa was open, and naturally, he guessed that they were the owners of the villa next door. "Okay, you guys go back to your work." Lin Yi waved his hand, indicating that they could leave. The security team got into the patrol car and drove away quickly. Meng Yao and Yu Shu let out a sigh of relief when they heard that Han Jingjing was fine. "Yao Shu, you guys go back. I'll wait here and see what she's doing," Lin said. "And okay, it's safe," Meng Yao reminded. "Don't worry." Lin Yi followed Han Xiaoqiao into the villa, while Meng Yao and Yu Shu went back to their own villa. "Lin Yi bro, wait for sis here. I'm going to read." Han Xiaoqiao didn't seem to be very sociable. After pouring a drink for Lin Yi, he got up and went back to his room to read. Lin Yi nodded and said, "Go on with your work, don't worry about me." In the living room, with nothing to do, Lin Yi continued to enter the space of the jade pendant to cultivate. Anyway, there were no outsiders in Han Jingjing's house, so Lin Yi didn't need to hide. About half an hour later, footsteps came from upstairs, followed by Han Jingjing's muttering, "It's over, it's over." Jingjing's disfigured. "I'm done for, Brother Yi, will he not like me any?" "Woo, Jingjing?" Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he heard Han Jingjing's words. She shouted upstairs, "Jingjing, I'm here. I'm downstairs in the living room." "Lin Yi bro, you're here to see Jingjing?" Han Jingjing was happy to hear Lin Yi's voice, but stopped when she was about to go downstairs. There was a deep cut on her face. It was on her forehead, and it wouldn't be too obvious if she covered it with her hair, but Han Jingjing still had some. Even with Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine, there would still be a cut left. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Han Xiaoqiao didn't tell Han Jingjing that he was here, but then he remembered that Han Xiaoqiao went back to his room to read, and Han Jingjing was in the shower. It was normal that he didn't tell her. "Jingjing, you're hurt? Come down and let me see," Lin said. Ah, Linny bro, you already know? Han Jingjing didn't want to go downstairs like this, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, she knew that she couldn't hide it anymore. She could only go downstairs. When she saw Lin Yi, tears of grievance fell down. Linny bro, my head is broken, and my face is disfigured. Will you not like Jing Jing in the future? Why do you say that? Lin Yi realized that Han Jingjing was actually very fragile. Jing Jing thinks that Lin Yi bro only likes beautiful girls, not ugly ones, Han Jingjing said. Otherwise, why would Lin Yi bro be surrounded by beautiful girls? Ugh, that's just a coincidence, Lin Yi said. Plus, Jing Jing is also very beautiful. But Jing Jing's face is disfigured now. Han Jingjing pointed at the gauze on her forehead and said, it's okay. I'll help you heal it. Lin Yi smiled slightly. He buckled the pulse on Han Jingjing's arm with one hand and put the other hand on Han Jingjing's forehead. It only took a few seconds. Before Han Jingjing could react, he quickly took it away and said, "It's done." "It's done?" Han Jingjing was slightly surprised. Just now, she only felt a slight chill on her forehead, and then Lin Yi told her it was done. If you don't believe me, you can take a look. Lin Yi pointed at Han Jingjing's forehead and said, "It doesn't seem to hurt too much." Han Jingjing touched her forehead. She was a little surprised. Out of trust in Lin Yi, she directly removed the gauze on her forehead and touched the wound with her hand. There was no wound at all. Except for the injury medicine on her hand, the skin was smooth and delicate. There was no sign of a wound at all. "Go and wash off the injury medicine." Lin Yi smiled. "It's really done?" Han Jingjing didn't expect that Lin Yi actually reached out and touched it, and it healed her wound. "Isn't it too magical? Won't you know if you see it yourself?" said Lin Yi. Han Jingjing quickly ran to the bathroom. There was an exclamation in the bathroom, and then there was the sound of water washing her face. After a while, Han Jingjing ran out of the bathroom. She was excited. "Big brother Lin Yi, it's really done. You're so amazing. Jing Jing admires you so much." Lin Yi was a little embarrassed by Han Jingjing. He really didn't know what to say to be admired by a genius girl. In fact, Lin Yi's road to success was really difficult. The only lucky possibility was that his physique was just right to practice the art of dragon mastery. In addition, Lin Yi put in more effort than others, so he had some magical powers that seemed very powerful today. However, Lin Yi was also aware of his own shortcomings. His strength today came entirely from hard work and coincidences. Lin Yi couldn't compare to the disciples of the hidden aristocratic families, and he couldn't compare to the disciples of the ancient sects and ancient aristocratic families. Without the space of the jade pendant, Lin Yi might still be at the golden rank. It was fine if he didn't have a master to guide him. It could be said that on the road of cultivation, Lin Yi didn't even have a person to consult. Chapter 2043. His master left when he was a few years old, and old Lin didn't even know as much as Lin Yi did. The only person who could be called his second master was Jiao Yazi, but he had a bad memory. So on the path of cultivation, Lin Yi had to figure it out himself. What was worse was that Lin Yi didn't have a master to guide him, and he didn't have any treasures to use. The only pill he had was probably the chi-gathering pill. He was a world of difference compared to the disciples of the ancient sects and noble houses who had been using spiritual herbs since they were young. But what Lin Yi had was a stubborn and hard-working heart. He had never given up before, and he'd been trying his best to make up for the difference between him and the disciples of the hidden houses and the disciples of the ancient sects. Xiao Xiao was a golden class in a month, and Naipeo was a mystic late phase peak in a few months. Lin Yi could only be envious. Fortunately, the jade space was a godly item, and Lin Yi was able to leave his opponents far behind. Of course, the jade space was only making up for the lack of chi in the air. If there was enough chi in the air, the art of dragon mastery alone would be enough for him to stand at the top of the world of practitioners. Of course, Lin Yi didn't complain about it. Solo practitioners naturally couldn't compare to the disciples of the noble houses and sections. Lin Yi's achievements today were already very good. "I'm not really good, just good at healing," Lin Yi said faintly. "Right, what were you doing before? Why did you make such a loud noise?" "I heard it from the villa next door." Actually, the cauldron that we bought together exploded. Han Jingjing frowned when she mentioned the previous matter. Jingjing originally wanted to refine an ordinary yellow-rank first-grade medicinal pill, the energy recovery pill, but I didn't expect that when I refined it according to the recipe, the medicinal pill didn't succeed and the cauldron exploded. Exploded. Lin Yi was stunned. That medicine cauldron is made of copper, so its quality should be pretty good. Why did it suddenly explode? Jingjing doesn't know either. Jingjing has already converted the pill formula's condensation technique into a temperature and time curve. She only needs to follow the curve and time to control the alchemy fire's temperature and intensity. Jingjing's calculation is already very accurate. In theory, it should have succeeded, but the medicine cauldron exploded. Could it be that this cauldron can't be used for alchemy? Lin Yi frowned. But in theory, a cauldron made of copper should be very sturdy. You can't concoct pills? Is there a need for a specialized cauldron? Han Jingjing also looked at Lin Yi with some doubt. Let me ask. Lin Yi took out his phone. He wanted to call Boss Bai directly, but when he thought that he didn't have any achievements in alchemy, he was a little discouraged. If Boss Bai asked, Lin Yi couldn't hide it, but if he told the truth, how could Lin Yi explain the explosion of the medicine cauldron? Lin Yi didn't want anyone to know about Han Jingjing's matter for the time being. This was a trump card in his hands. Lin Yi didn't want Han Jingjing to be targeted by some forces. After all, Han Jingjing's alchemy skills were quite popular even in the ancient sections. So, after hesitating for a while, Lin Yi called Bai Weituo directly. In theory, as Boss Bai's grandson, even if Bai Weituo didn't know alchemy, he should know a lot about alchemy. After all, Bai Weituo also said that he learned a lot from Boss Bai. Big brother Lin? Why did you suddenly call me? Bai Weituo was a little surprised to receive Lin Yi's call. Today was Sunday. Bai Weituo was sleeping in the dormitory early in the morning. He hadn't gotten up yet, and Lin Yi's call came in. Weituo, I have something to ask you, said Lin Yi. Big brother Lin, if there's anything, just say it. Why do you need to ask? Don't be so distant. I will tell you everything I know. Bai Weituo was very grateful to Lin Yi for going to Tiger Park yesterday. Himeyue's impression of him was also a lot better. At least he had successfully gotten Himeyue's QQ number, and he could chat with Himeyue online. It's about alchemy, said Lin. Alchemy, I really don't know much about this. If you have knowledge in this area, you'd better ask my grandfather. When Bai Weituo heard Lin Yi's question, he quickly said, Big brother Lin, it's not that I don't want to answer, but I really know too much. Don't worry, it's just a simple question. Lin Yi said, the cauldron used for alchemy, an imitation antique from the antique street, is that okay? What? Bai Weituo heard Lin Yi's question and froze. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How is that possible? Even if it's a real antique, if it's not designed according to the requirements and specifications of an alchemist, it can't be used for alchemy. It's a handicraft. If it's used for alchemy, the cauldron will explode. It can explode? Lin Yi sweated. It seemed that Han Jingjing's explosion wasn't for nothing. Even a real antique that wasn't used for alchemy could explode, not to mention an imitation cauldron. Not having a good teacher to teach them was a waste. Lin Yi was speechless. He and Han Jingjing were thinking too much. Lin Yi saw from Zhang Liju's notes that the cauldron used for alchemy didn't need to be too special. A normal copper or iron cauldron could do the job. But Lin Yi neglected one point, and that was that alchemists had their own cauldrons. These cauldrons could be made of copper or iron, but the ones sold on the street were trash. They couldn't be used for alchemy at all. But Zhang Liju didn't explain it clearly. In fact, if Zhang Liju's notes were seen by a disciple of a hidden house or an ancient sect, they'd definitely understand that the cauldron in here was a specialized cauldron. They wouldn't be like Lin Yi and think that it was a normal cauldron sold on the street. This was also why Yupan who found it strange when he heard that Lin Yi and Han Jingjing went to the antique street and bought 2 broken cauldrons. Something that even the worst alchemists didn't use. Why would Lin Yi and Han Jingjing buy it? Did they think that they could use it to make elixirs? They didn't even know if they could use it or not. Yeah, normal cauldrons can explode for sure. If you want to make elixirs, you need a specialized cauldron for the alchemist, and it has to be of the same level. For example, a first-level elixir needs a first-level cauldron. Of course, a second-level cauldron can not only make a second-level elixir, but also a first-level elixir. Bai Weituo still had this bit of knowledge. What, boss, don't tell me you've learned alchemy already. That's really fast. Chapter 2044. Not yet, I'm just asking. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Right, do you have a good cauldron that can be used for alchemy? There is one, but Grandpa already planned to pass it to his last disciple. Bai Weituo said, you know that my brother and I don't have this talent, so my grandpa didn't want to pass it to us at all. Just one? There's nothing else? Even if it's a little inferior? Lin Yi was a little disappointed. Boss Bai only had one cauldron, and he passed it to his last disciple. It seemed that even if he learned alchemy, he wouldn't have a share. No. Bai Weituo shook his head and said, Grandpa is particular about quality over quality. This is the cauldron he used before, and it's the only one. Okay, thank you, I understand. After understanding the truth, Lin Yi didn't say anything more. Since Boss Bai only had one cauldron, and he passed it to his last disciple, then Lin Yi wouldn't ask Boss Bai anymore. It would be useless even if he asked. However, where could he buy a suitable cauldron for an alchemist? House Yu definitely had it, but if House Yu did, with the relationship between Lin Yi and House Yu might not sell it. Ice Palace probably had it too, and they could get it too, but it wasn't worth it to trouble Crystal Candy for such a small matter. Moreover, he had boasted that he was going to become a golden class third-level alchemist, and after such a long time, he didn't even have a cauldron, let alone becoming an alchemist. He would probably be laughed at by Crystal Candy. Lin Yi held back his anger in front of Crystal Candy. Sooner or later, she would dig her eyes out, so Lin Yi didn't plan to make Crystal Candy despise him even more because of this small matter. Now, the only thing that Lin Yi could rely on to get a cauldron was the hidden House Yu, the hidden House Zhao, and the hidden House Han. The possibility of the hidden House Yu getting the cauldron was the highest. After all, the hidden House Yu was an old hidden house with strong connections. They weren't any weaker than the hidden House Yu. As long as the hidden House Yu asking for a normal cauldron from the hidden House Yu would be a piece of cake. But the only person Lin Yi knew and could contact in House Yu was Yu Bing, and Yu Bing was training in the Ice Palace right now. If he wanted to find Yu Bing, he would have to go through the Ice Palace. Plus, Yu Bing was in the Ice Palace, and it wouldn't be easy for House Yu to get a cauldron for Lin Yi. So Lin Yi gave up on the idea and turned his attention to the other two hidden families. With the relationship between Lin Yi and Zhao Qikuan, asking for a cauldron shouldn't be a problem, but the problem was that Zhao Qikuan didn't have a high position in the hidden house. Even if they did, Zhao Qikuan might not be able to make them do it. Shaking his head, Lin Yi could only place his hopes on the hidden house Hans, the new hidden house. He just didn't know if the hidden house Hans had the connections to get a cauldron. Listening to the hidden Han family, they were already being oppressed and coveted by the other hidden families. Asking them to help them get a medicine cauldron was probably not very likely. How is it, Lin Yi bro? Han Jingjing asked worriedly, seeing Lin Yi frowning after the call. This cauldron can't be used for elixir making. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. If you use this cauldron to make elixirs, the cauldron will explode. Ah, no wonder my cauldron exploded. Jing Jing thought it was something else. Han Jingjing understood. That means Jing Jing was right, it's the cauldron's problem. That should be the case. Don't try to make elixirs for now. I'll think of a way to get you a cauldron in the next few days. Lin Yi said. Hey Lin Yi bro. Han Jingjing nodded. Hidden House You coiling tiger, you said that Lin Yi got some information on elixir making from Boss Bai? Yu Zhentian listened to Yu coiling tiger's narration and frowned. He was a little unhappy. What did Lin Yi do to make Boss Bai think so highly of him? Yes, although I didn't hear it very clearly, I heard some key points clearly from the intermittent conversation at the door. Yu coiling tiger said, Boss Bai wants to take Lin Yi as his disciple and teach Lin Yi some knowledge on elixir making. When Lin Yi went out, he took a book of information. It must have been given to him by Boss Bai. If that's the case, it's worth it for our House Yu to find a way to exchange for that information. The key is Lin Yi willing to exchange? Yu Zhentian also knew that Yu Coiling Tiger and Lin Yi weren't on good terms, and the relationship between the entire House Yu and Lin Yi wasn't very good either. However, fortunately, Lin Yi didn't know that Yu Shisan came from the hidden House Yu, so the relationship between the two wasn't too stiff. If there were enough benefits, Lin Yi might be tempted. Uncle, I think we can definitely exchange for Lin. The key is what we can give him. Yu Coiling Tiger said, no matter how powerful Lin Yi is, he's just a loose cultivator and a poor bastard. He even went to the antique street to buy a trash cauldron. This kind of person definitely doesn't have anything valuable on him, so if we take out something that can move him, he'll definitely compromise. Oh, went to the antique street to buy trash cauldrons? Yu Zhentian raised his eyebrows. This Lin Yi can't be that bad, right? After all, he has some connections with the Ice Palace. Why would he go buy trash? What the hell does he have to do with the Ice Palace? Palace Master Bingtang is just giving Lin Yi some face because of Xiao Xiao and Tang Yun. I dare say that Lin Yi wouldn't be able to get Bingtang to help him right now. Yu Coiling Tiger said with certainty. That's true. Yu Zhentian believed that as well. Otherwise, there was no way the Ice Palace wouldn't know about 3 Earth-class masters going to assassinate Lin Yi. But even now, no one from the Ice Palace came out to investigate this. This meant that Bingtang didn't care about Lin Yi at all. Master Yu, I've thought of something that we can exchange for. Huang Mao suggested carefully. Oh, Huang Mao, what do you think we should exchange? Yu Zhentian looked at Huang Mao. Cauldrons. Since Lin Yi went to the antique street to buy cauldrons, that means that Lin Yi doesn't have any good cauldrons, at least not a good one. Or his previous cauldrons were broken, or else he wouldn't have gone there to buy cauldrons. Huang Mao said, and since he went to the antique street to buy cauldrons, that means that Lin Yi doesn't have any other way to get cauldrons. He's a loose cultivator, so he can only go there to try his luck. But it's very likely that he didn't see a cauldron he liked, so he bought some trash to make up the numbers. Chapter 2045. Can that trash do alchemy? Won't the cauldron explode? Yu Zhentian said, are you sure he went to buy a medicine cauldron because he doesn't have one himself and not because of something else? Psst, I'm not sure. The yellow hair shook his head. I'm just guessing. However, this is a way. Yu Zhentian nodded and said, Pan Hu, bring 2 medicine cauldrons in a while. 1 first-grade medicine cauldron and 1 second-grade medicine cauldron. First, use the first-grade medicine cauldron to exchange with Lin. If he refuses, then take out the second-grade medicine cauldron. Remember, don't use the second-grade medicine cauldron if you can. Although the Hidden Yu family was an alchemy family, they didn't have a lot of medicine cauldrons. It was okay to have a first-grade medicine cauldron as they had a lot of stock, but there weren't many second-grade medicine cauldrons. One had to know that medicine cauldrons could only be made by high-level alchemists. Many of the second-grade medicine cauldrons in the family came from the Heavenly Elixir sect. As for a third-grade medicine cauldron, even a high-ranked alchemist would not be able to forge it. Only a blacksmith could forge it. However, in this world, blacksmiths were pitifully rare. Not to mention the hidden aristocratic families, even ancient sects and ancient aristocratic families did not have such existences. The only place that could confirm that there were blacksmiths was that place. Of course, these weren't the Hidden Yu family's concerns. The Hidden Yu family also had third-grade medicine cauldrons, but they absolutely couldn't take them out to exchange with others. The entire Hidden Yu family only had 2 third-grade medicine cauldrons. Yes, uncle. I'll go talk to Lin Yi when I go to school tomorrow. Yu Pan Hu nodded and said, by the way, how's your cultivation strength? Yu Zhentian didn't have any other thoughts about Yu Pan Hu now. From the arrangement of the Yu family's elder, Yu Pan Hu would definitely develop into the next generation of elders. Yu Pan Hu was very talented in alchemy, so the Yu family's elder sent him to Donghai Industry University to learn alchemy from Boss Bai. Of course, as long as Yu Pan Hu didn't compete with Yu Zhentian's son, Yu Pan Long, then Yu Zhentian didn't have to worry about anything. Although the elders had a lot of power in the family, they still had to listen to the family master. Therefore, Yu Zhentian was also concerned about Yu Coiling Tiger's cultivation homework. Once Yu Coiling Tiger grew up, it would be a great thing for the Yu family's future. Uncle, You also know that I have talent in alchemy, but in terms of cultivation, I can't bear too much hardship. Even if Yu Zhentian didn't mention it, Yu Coiling who was planning to find a chance to complain in the near future. After talking about Lin Yi today, he didn't want to say anything else, but since his uncle brought it up, he naturally wouldn't let go of this good opportunity. My strength is too weak, I'm only at the peak of the late phase of the golden class. Maybe it's because my level is too low, so Boss Bai doesn't like me and didn't teach me more alchemy. That's true. That Lin Yi is already in Earth rank, at least in the late stage of Earth rank. He should be at the peak of the late stage of Earth rank. It's understandable that Boss Bai favors him. Yu Zhentian nodded his head and said, "How about this? I'll write a list for you. Take this list to the elixir storage and collect 10 spirit gathering pills and 2 spirit gathering pills for your cultivation." Yu Coiling who was overjoyed after hearing Yu Zhentian's words. With these 2 pills, his strength would improve by leaps and bounds. Spirit Gathering Pill was a yellow rank 1 elixir. This kind of elixir was actually similar to the Spirit Gathering Pill, but the effect was much worse. Spirit Gathering Pill was an elixir for cultivators below the Mystic class to quickly increase their strength, but it was useless for Mystic class. Of course, the effect of this Spirit Gathering Pill was not as good as the Spirit Gathering Pill, but it didn't have the drawbacks of the Spirit Gathering Pill. Because the energy contained in the Spirit Gathering Pill was not pure and domineering, people who took the Spirit Gathering Pill could still continue to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to cultivate. Therefore, Spirit Gathering Pill was very popular among the hidden families. Although many hidden families also had yellow rank 1 elixir masters, their success rate was not high. Therefore, the Yu family still had a lot of market, and they could rely on Spirit Gathering Pill to earn a lot of money. The Essence Gathering Pill, on the other hand, was a higher grade of cultivation elixir. It was meant for cultivators who were above the Mystic class and below the Earth class. It could quickly increase the strength of a Mystic class master, but it wouldn't have much effect on an Earth class master. However, the cost of Spirit Gathering Pill was hundreds or even thousands of times more than Spirit Gathering Pill. After all, Spirit Gathering Pill required a yellow rank 2 elixir master to make, and there was no guarantee of 100% success rate. Taking into account the chi consumption and failure rate of the elixir master, this Spirit Gathering Pill was priceless. This was also the reason why the disciples of the hidden houses could easily cultivate to the peak of the late phase of the golden class or the early phase of the mystic class. Because Spirit Gathering Pills were not very valuable, and when the peak of the late phase of the golden class broke through to the early phase of the mystic class, they only needed to take 10 Spirit Gathering Pills at the same time. Even so, of course, this was only limited to the hidden houses. The noble houses did not have this kind of treatment. Even if they wanted to buy Spirit Gathering Pills, there was no way to buy it. The only one that had contact with the hidden house Yu was the common house Yu, but the hidden house Yu did not rely on elixir making. The Spirit Gathering Pills made by the first-level elixir master were not enough for their disciples, so how could they give it to the common house Yu? It was already good enough if they could give them a few as rewards. Yu Zhentian gave Yu Coiling Tiger 10 Spirit Gathering Pills at once, but only gave him 2 Spirit Gathering Pills. This meant that Spirit Gathering Pills were not valuable, but Spirit Gathering Pills were. However, the effects of the Spirit Gathering Pill were very overbearing. Even with 2, it could easily increase the strength of a practitioner from the early phase of the mystic class to the middle phase. 1 Spirit Gathering Pill was not a problem at all. This was also the reason why Yu Coiling Tiger was ecstatic. One had to know that the Spirit Gathering Pill was a treasure that even House Yu didn't have much of. Other hidden houses wanted to buy it, but they didn't have it. They would only sell it at a high price in auctions, and so Yu Coiling Tiger was able to get 2 of them. It was enough to show that Yu Zhentian was starting to value him and was raising him as an elder of the house. Holding Yu Zhentian's list, Yu Coiling Tiger first went to the elixir store to collect elixir pills, then went to the armory to collect 2 first-grade and second-grade medicinal cauldrons. After doing all this, Yu Coiling Tiger returned to his room to cultivate. With the elixir in hand, Yu Coiling Tiger couldn't wait to increase his strength from the peak of the late phase of the golden class to the early phase of the mystic class. On Monday morning, Yu Coiling Tiger came to school with high morale. He was now in early phase of the mystic class. After taking 10 spirit gathering pills, he easily broke through the barrier and became a mystic class early phase. Chapter 2046. This was the advantage of being a disciple of a hidden house. If it was a disciple of a normal house, they might not be able to break through the golden class and reach mystic class. Even if it was the head of the house, mystic class was already a top-notch master, but in a hidden house, it was nothing, especially a hidden house like House Yu that relied on alchemy as a profession. However, looking at the empty classroom, Yu Panhu was a little depressed. It seemed that he couldn't do things early. In a university classroom, unless it was time for class, no one would come so early. If everyone had the time, they might as well stay in the dormitory for a while. Who would run to the classroom so early in the morning? It was more popular to study at noon and at night, but there were fewer people studying in the morning. Let's go downstairs and see, to welcome that Lin. Coiling Tiger Right looked at the time and said, Should we take the cauldron down? Yellow Hair asked. Take it. You and Purple Hair each take one. When the time comes, whichever one I tell you to take out, you take it out. Coiling Tiger Right instructed. Okay. Yellow Hair and Purple Hair replied at the same time. The three went downstairs and walked towards the parking lot of the biology building. Coincidentally, Lin Yi had just driven Meng Yao, Yu Shu, Han Jingjing and Han Xiaocha to school, and Lin Yi and Han Jingjing were also walking towards the biology building. Lin Yi bro. Last night, Jingjing simplified and improved the method of condensing and controlling the first and second level fire. Now, Jingjing can condense a first-level fire in 10 seconds and a second-level fire in 30 seconds. Han Jingjing said. Lin Yi bro gave Jingjing the refiner's notes. It's really good stuff. As Han Jingjing spoke, Coiling Tiger Right had already run over. He didn't hear the first half of Han Jingjing's words, but he heard the latter part clearly. Han Jingjing said that Lin Yi gave her some refiner's notes. It was really good stuff. Coiling Tiger Right's heart moved, and he was a little annoyed. Motherfucker, this Lin Yi was really a pervert. He kept having beauties around him, and in just a few days he got together with Han Jingjing again, and from the looks of it, Han Jingjing also wanted to learn alchemy? Lin Yi naturally saw Coiling Tiger Right, but it was too late to stop Han Jingjing. Han Jingjing had already finished the second half of her sentence, and Lin Yi could only cough twice to signal her to stop. Someone was coming. Isn't this the great refiner Lin Yi Lin? What a coincidence! This time, Coiling Tiger Right, Coiling Tiger Right, Tiger Right, Coiling Tiger Right, Coiling Tiger Right, Tiger Right, Coiling 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 Right, Coiling Tiger was, Coiling Tiger. For a rogue cultivator like Lin Yi, it was already good enough for him to have a slightly better medicinal cauldron. It was impossible for him to have an extra one for Han Jingjing, so it was normal for him to accompany Han Jingjing to buy it. However, it was impossible to use the trash bought from the street stalls for alchemy. Yu Panhu, what's wrong with you again? Why aren't you in class this early in the morning? What are you doing here? Lin Yi said faintly, but then he said, I didn't see it coming. A scholar who has been away for 3 days must be looked at with new eyes. You actually broke through? From yellow to mystic? You also noticed? Yu Coiling Tiger didn't hide his mystic early phase aura, so he didn't think it was strange for Lin Yi to see through it. How about it? Jealous? Envy? What's wrong with you? I'm in Earth class, jealous of you? Lin Yi frowned. You came here just to show off that you've become a mystic? Is there anything else? Of course there is. Yu Coiling Tiger quickly said, Lin Yi, the information that Boss Bai gave you, what do you want? Lin Yi's face suddenly showed a vigilant expression. Why are you so nervous? I'm not going to steal it from you. I just want to borrow it to take a look. Yu Coiling Tiger saw Lin Yi's poker face and was a bit depressed. He wanted to turn into a beautiful woman and make Lin Yi give the information to him. From Coiling Tiger's perspective, as long as it was a beautiful woman, Lin Yi wouldn't reject it. How could he know that there was a reason why Lin Yi gave Han Jingjing such a good thing? It had nothing to do with whether Han Jingjing was a beautiful woman or not. No way. Boss Bai didn't let me lend it to anyone. Lin Yi said, if it's this matter, then please go ahead. Or you can borrow it directly from Boss Bai. After that, Lin Yi and Han Jingjing were ready to leave. Wait, how could you coiling tiger let Lin Yi go? If he went to the classroom and Boss Bai was next to him, his plan wouldn't be easy to implement. If any student saw it and complained to Boss Bai, it would be very disadvantageous to coiling tiger. What else? Lin Yi asked coldly, you can't be thinking that you're awesome now that you've become a mystic. Are you going to beat me up? How could that be? You coiling tiger suddenly shook his head. You, Lin Yi, are a master who can kill 3 Earth-class masters at the same time. Me beating you up? I'm not stupid. Don't provoke me. It's useless. Then what do you want to do? Lin Yi snorted and didn't say much. Wow, big brother Lin Yi, you're so powerful. You can kill 3 Earth-class masters in a second? Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with admiration. Jingjing admires you more and more. You coiling tiger frowned. This Han Jingjing in the class, other than Wang Xinyan, was considered the prettiest girl in the class. You coiling tiger originally planned to find a girlfriend in the school. Wang Xinyan was definitely impossible. Not to mention the conflict during the college entrance examination, Wang Xinyan wouldn't care about him at all. Just based on the relationship between Wang Xinyan and Lin Yi, he didn't want to interfere. If she was killed by that madman Lin Yi, it wouldn't be worth it. Although Boss Bai didn't allow trouble here, what if Lin Yi got angry and killed him at the risk of being expelled? This wasn't impossible. Therefore, you coiling tiger shifted his gaze to Han Jingjing. As a result, Han Jingjing got together with Lin Yi in less than 2 days. She called Lin Yi big brother and even worshipped Lin. This matter was most likely hopeless. However, these were all small matters in you coiling tiger's eyes. Women's matters weren't urgent. The most important thing was to get the information in Lin Yi's hands. Therefore, he said, Lin Yi, as far as I know, you've already shown the information to Han Jingjing, right? Boss Bai doesn't allow others to see it. It should be that he doesn't allow people other than his students to see it, right? If that's the case, why can't you let me see it? Why should I let you see it? Lin Yi sneered at you coiling tiger and asked, are you threatening me? Target equals, try. Chapter 2047. Actually, Lin Yi, I didn't look at it for nothing. I used something good to exchange for it. As you coiling tiger said this, he winked at the yellow hair and said, take out the good medicine cauldron and show it to Lin Yi. Young master you. The yellow hair listened to you coiling tiger's instructions. He took out the yellow level 1st grade medicine cauldron in his hand and raised it in front of Lin. Yellow level 1st grade medicine cauldron? There was a strange look in Lin Yi's eyes. You coiling tiger actually used the medicine cauldron to exchange for the information? Lin Yi really had the urge to laugh. Before this, he was still worried about where to buy the medicine cauldron. As a result, a fool came to his door the next day. However, although Lin Yi wanted to exchange, he couldn't show it too obviously on the surface. Otherwise, if you coiling tiger suffered a loss, he would definitely not let it go. In order to avoid trouble, Lin Yi intended to let him swallow this loss. Yes, it is the yellow level 1st grade medicine cauldron. You coiling tiger said proudly, how about it? You went to the antique street to buy a medicine cauldron before, right? If I'm not wrong, you should have bought it for Han Jingjing, right? But I can tell you responsibly that the medicine cauldron sold in the antique street, whether it is a real antique or an imitation, is a handicraft. It is impossible to use it for alchemy. If it is used for alchemy, the cauldron will explode. Looking at the medicine cauldron in the hands of the yellow hair, Lin Yi's heart suddenly moved. The medicine cauldron hidden in the Yu family was naturally the special medicine cauldron used by alchemists. In this regard, Lin Yi believed that you coiling tiger wouldn't lie to him. After all, you coiling tiger still couldn't grasp Lin Yi's true strength. He didn't know if Lin Yi was an alchemist or what level of alchemist he was. You guessed it right. The medicine cauldron did explode. Lin Yi said faintly, but I still don't want to exchange with you. You still don't want to exchange after the cauldron exploded? You coiling tiger listened to Lin Yi's contradictory words and was suddenly stunned. Why is that? Reason? In fact, it's very simple. The information that Boss Bai gave me is of no use to you. Your Hidden You family is a big business and is an alchemy family. Why would you be interested in such ordinary information? Lin Yi said lightly, so, I'm afraid you'll be at a disadvantage, so I won't trade with you. You. When Yu Coiling Tiger heard Lin Yi's words, it seemed as if he was thinking for Yu Coiling Tiger's sake. What he meant was that his information wasn't worth the price of his first-grade cauldron, so it was better if he didn't exchange for it. However, in Right Coiling Tiger's ears, these words had a different meaning. Yu Coiling Tiger felt that Lin Yi must have felt that this grade 1 medicine cauldron was too weak. She didn't want to trade with him, so she said those words on purpose. Therefore, Right Coiling Tiger took a deep breath and said calmly, Lin Yi, if you think the item is bad, just say it. I, Right Coiling Tiger, can also produce good items. How about this, a grade 2 medicine cauldron, do you want to trade or not? Rank 2? Lin Yi was incomparably shocked in his heart, but his face did not show it. He still looked at Right Coiling Tiger coldly. He said, you have a grade 2 medicine cauldron? Originally, it was already very good for Lin Yi to be able to use this tattered stall's information to exchange for a grade 1 medicine cauldron. Lin Yi really just wanted to make things difficult for Yu Coiling Tiger, so that after exchanging the medicine cauldron, he wouldn't feel that he was at a disadvantage. Therefore, he deliberately said these words. However, he didn't expect that this Right Coiling Tiger misunderstood his meaning and directly took out a grade 2 medicine cauldron. Of course, if there was a good thing, he would be a fool and it wasn't Lin Yi's style. Naturally. Right Coiling Tiger nodded at Purple Hair. He said, you take it out and let classmate Lin Yi take a look. Classmate Lin Yi, please take a look. This is a grade 2 medicine cauldron. Purple Hair took out a medicine cauldron from his chest and raised it in front of Lin. How is it? You're also an alchemy master, so you should recognize it, right? This is a pure grade 2 medicine cauldron, made by a high-level alchemy master from the Heavenly Elixir sect. A grade 2 medicine cauldron made by the Heavenly Elixir sect. Lin Yi suddenly realized that a high-level alchemy master could make their own medicine cauldron. However, Lin Yi still had that indifferent expression on his face. I still don't really want to exchange. Fuck. Right Coiling Tiger thought that a grade 2 medicine cauldron was enough to move Lin Yi, but he didn't expect that he still didn't want to exchange. However, this time, Lin Yi's tone was a little loose. He said, don't really want to exchange, which meant that Lin Yi was a little tempted, but his own conditions might not be enough. Therefore, Right Coiling Tiger held back his anger and asked patiently, Lin Yi, what do I need for you to be willing to exchange? Right Coiling Tiger, it's not that I don't want to exchange with you, but the information in my hands really shouldn't be of much use to you. Lin Yi said earnestly, I think your Hidden You family should not lack such information. Why do you still make it difficult for me? Boss Bai said that I can't show it to others casually. Yes, why not? Right Coiling Tiger said quickly, since you have shown it to Han Jingjing, I won't miss it, right? Han Jingjing is a new alchemy master, so this information is useful to her, but your alchemy level shouldn't be bad. It's useless to look at this information, said Lin. Fuck, Lin Yi, why are you talking so much nonsense? I want to exchange for it. Even if I exchange for a pile of junk, it's also my willingness. Why are you worrying about it? Right Coiling Tiger finally couldn't help but say angrily, I'm willing to exchange. It's hard to buy my willingness. Do you know? If you think that my conditions are not suitable, just say it. Don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. Don't. You obviously think that one medicinal cauldron is too little, right? This. Lin Yi looked at the raging Right Coiling Tiger and sighed helplessly. It's not a lot, it's really not a lot. As expected, 2 medicinal cauldrons, 1 first-grade medicinal cauldron and 1 second-grade medicinal cauldron. How about it? 2 for 1, do you want to exchange or not? Give me a straightforward answer. Right Coiling Tiger took all the medicinal cauldrons in the hands of the yellow-haired and purple-haired people and sent them to Lin. TSK. I really want these 2 medicinal cauldrons, but that information is really not worth this value. Lin Yi said with a bitter smile, Right Coiling Tiger, you are my classmate now. I don't want to cheat you. listen to my advice, it's better not to exchange. If you don't exchange, you'll be cheating me. Right Coiling Tiger was extremely excited as he held the 2 medicinal cauldrons and said, Lin Yi, if you are my classmate, you should help your classmate even more. Brother Lin Yi, why don't you exchange with him? Anyway, I also need a medicinal cauldron now, and he's quite pitiful. Han Jingjing said weakly. Chapter 2048. Lin Yi was really speechless, but he still said, all right, but I'll exchange with you. After the exchange, don't regret it. However, Lin Yi had to admit that Han Jingjing's interjection was really timely, giving Lin Yi an excuse to step down. Otherwise, Lin Yi would inevitably have to dawdle for a while. Whoever goes back on his word is a bastard. Right Coiling Tiger said resolutely. All right, in fact, Jingjing just happens to be lacking medicine cauldrons, and you insist on exchanging, then I can only exchange. Lin Yi sighed and said, Jingjing, bring the medicine cauldrons over. Here you go. Right Coiling Tiger was afraid that Lin Yi would regret it, so when he heard Lin Yi agree, he directly stuffed the 2 medicine cauldrons to Han Jingjing. Anyway, in Boss Bai's class, Right Coiling Tiger was not afraid that Lin Yi would be greedy for his 2 medicine cauldrons and not give him the information. If that was really the case, Right Coiling Tiger did not mind telling on him. Han Jingjing happily carried the 2 cauldrons over, and Lin Yi, on the other hand, opened the folder that contained the textbooks that he carried with him and took out a file from it. It was exactly the mantra for condensing alchemy fire and the mantra for assisting alchemists that Boss Bai had copied for him. It's here, I'll give it to you. Lin Yi handed the document to Right Coiling Tiger. After you copy it, return it to me. This original is Boss Bai's, I still have to return it to him. All right. Right Coiling Tiger nodded repeatedly in response. After taking the document that Lin Yi handed over, Right Coiling Tiger could not wait to open it, but when he opened the document, his expression suddenly changed. Next, he could not wait to quickly flip through the document, but as he flipped faster and faster, his expression became uglier and uglier. When he reached the last page of the document, Right Coiling Tiger's face had already turned livid. Lin, you tricked me. Right Coiling Tiger said angrily, did Boss Bai give you this information? Yeah, you can ask Boss Bai if you don't believe me. Lin Yi said lightly. You know very well that I will not ask Boss Bai. Yu Coiling Tiger's eyes were about to spit fire. His 2 cauldrons. Although the Yu family still had some 1st grade and 2nd grade cauldrons, they couldn't be wasted like this. Oh, if you still don't believe me, you can naturally come with me when I return the documents, Lin Yi said indifferently. This. Coiling Tiger Right heard Lin Yi's words and knew that Lin Yi wouldn't lie to him. This information was probably given to him by Boss Bai. What Boss Bai gave Lin Yi, on the other hand, was only the introductory files of alchemists, not the files on skills at all. In the final analysis, he, Coiling Tiger Right, was fooled. He was fooled. He treated the introductory files in Lin Yi's hands as a treasure. He paid the price of 2 cauldrons in exchange for a useless file. Lin Yi, you know that this is the introductory files of alchemists. It is of no value to me. Why didn't you remind me? Coiling Tiger Right said angrily, you even cheated me of 2 cauldrons. Did you do it on purpose? I say, Coiling Tiger Right, are you retarded? I have been persuading you not to exchange before. Let me tell you, your hidden Yu family definitely doesn't lack this stuff. Lin Yi frowned and sneered, but what did you say? You said that you are willing. You are willing to exchange with me. I said that I am cheating you if I exchange with you, but you said that I am cheating you if I don't exchange. You forced me to exchange. What can I do? This. Coiling Tiger Right was suddenly speechless. He had no reason to refute Lin Yi's words. He said gloomily, then, I don't want to exchange anymore. You don't want to exchange anymore? You don't want to exchange anymore just because you say so? You have already read the files and you say you don't want to exchange? Are you going to dig out your eyeballs or dig out your brain and erase the content you saw before? Lin Yi snorted and said, I don't have time to bother with you. Don't you want to copy this information? If you don't want to copy it, give it back to me. As Lin Yi said this, he snatched the files back from Coiling Tiger Right's hands. He ignored him and left with Han Jingjing. Coiling Tiger Right was aggrieved. He felt that he had suffered a huge loss. Although these 2 cauldrons were useless to him, they were very precious to the Hidden Yu family. They were given to Lin Yi for no reason. Who would be in a good mood? However, although Coiling Tiger Right was aggrieved, he couldn't say anything. He thought about it carefully. It was true that Lin Yi had been refusing before and even persuaded him not to exchange. It was him who asked to exchange with Lin Yi. So, who could be blamed for this? Of course, Coiling Tiger Right didn't think that Lin Yi was so kind and compassionate to persuade him not to exchange with him. Lin Yi was obviously loosening the reins only to grasp them better. Otherwise, why didn't Lin Yi tell him directly that the information that Boss Bai gave him was only the most basic mental cultivation method of an alchemist? If he had said it earlier, wouldn't he not exchange with him? And after the exchange, Lin Yi took the cauldron and left. He didn't pity him at all. It was obvious that Lin Yi was up to no good. He was tricking Coiling Tiger step by step. So Coiling Tiger Right was incomparably depressed. However, in Boss Bai's class, even if he was depressed, there was nothing he could do. Firstly, Lin Yi wasn't robbing, and secondly, he wasn't threatening. This exchange was fair and just. There weren't any other factors. Even if it was Boss Bai, Coiling Tiger Right wasn't in the right. So, Coiling Tiger Right could only swallow his broken teeth into his stomach. Motherfucker, Lin Yi tricked me. Coiling Tiger Right said hatefully, this guy will die a horrible death. I'll get back at him sooner or later. The yellow-haired and purple-haired didn't dare to speak carelessly at this time. Coiling Tiger Right was tricked, and they actually had some responsibility. They didn't notice the slightest detail and didn't stop Coiling Tiger Right in time. So, at this time, they were also afraid that Coiling Tiger Right would find trouble with them. Calm down, young Master Right. That Lin Yi obviously planned it well. He advanced step by step. We couldn't guard against it. The yellow-haired said, yeah, young Master Right. Now, we can only learn from our mistakes. If you want to blame someone, blame that Lin Yi. He acted too well, making it hard for people to distinguish between the real and fake. The purple-haired also said, you too, think of a way for me now. Think of a good way. I want to discuss Lin Yi. We can't just let this go. Even if we can't get the cauldron back, we have to make Lin Yi suffer a bit. Coiling Tiger Right said, otherwise, I won't be able to sleep. Yes, young Master Right. We'll think of a way right now. The yellow-haired and purple-haired quickly nodded. Chapter 2049. Lin Yi and Han Jingjing walked in front. Han Jingjing hugged the 2 cauldrons with a smile on her face. Brother Lin Yi, that right Coiling Tiger is really a fool. That alchemy fire condensation mantra and auxiliary mental cultivation method are the most common things, yet he still wants to exchange it. Han Jingjing had already learned from Lin Yi that the alchemy fire condensation mantra and auxiliary mental cultivation method were cheap goods. The alchemy fire condensation mantra that Lin Yi gave her was the real good stuff. However, Han Jingjing had gotten rid of both of them and came up with a more scientific method to condense the refinement fire. So, in comparison, Han Jingjing's refinement fire condensing method was more important. Even if Lin Yi's refinement fire condensing method was given away, Han Jingjing's refinement fire condensing method couldn't be given away. Of course he's stupid. I'm afraid he's regretting it now. Lin Yi said faintly, Jingjing, you're not stupid either. What you said in front of right Coiling Tiger just now was very timely. Jingjing is not stupid. Although compared to brother Lin Yi, Jingjing is a little stupid, but compared to others, Jingjing is very smart. Han Jingjing said seriously. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's serious little face, but he couldn't see any clues. He shook his head. Perhaps Shu was overthinking. Han Jingjing was smart, but she wasn't that scheming. At least, Lin Yi couldn't feel any malice from her. Lin Yi was a very sensitive person. Back in the primeval forest, when he was doing missions, he'd been spying a lot of the time. It was easy for him to tell if someone was friend or foe. Han Jingjing, on the other hand, didn't give off the aura of an enemy, only a sense of honesty. She told Lin Yi everything she researched without reservation. From this point alone, Han Jingjing wouldn't be a bad person. Well, actually, compared to me, you're also very smart, Lin Yi said. Isn't that so? Jingjing knows her place. She's not as powerful and smart as big brother Lin Yi. Han Jingjing said, in the past, Jingjing has never admired or worshipped anyone, but after seeing big brother Lin Yi, Jingjing feels that big brother Lin Yi is very powerful. Lin Yi walked into the classroom with Han Jingjing. They'd gotten to know each other quite a bit, but Han Jingjing still took the seat behind him on her own accord. She didn't fight with Xinyan over it. Wang Xinyan, on the other hand, sat in her seat, quietly reading a book as usual. Morning, Lin Yi said. Good morning. Xinyan raised her head and smiled at Lin. Fan Ganha hasn't harassed you these past 2 days, right? Lin Yi knew that Zhang Duopan would find excuses to call he Meiyue, and Fan Ganha would use this opportunity to look for Xinyan as well, but he didn't have anything to talk to her about. Xinyan wouldn't want to pick up his calls after 2 times, but Fan Ganha wouldn't give up every time. Not these past 2 days, Xinyan shook her head, but it's fine if you call me again, I'm not going to pick up. Right, you and Yao Yao seem to be getting along well? This was also the question Lin Yi wanted to ask Xinyan. She seemed to be getting along well with Meng Yao the other day, so Lin Yi was wondering what the two were talking about. Yao Yao's a good person, maybe there was some misunderstanding between us before, but now that I've explained everything, everything's fine. Xinyan, naturally, wouldn't tell Lin Yi what Meng Yao told her, it'd be too embarrassing. Is that so? Seeing that Xinyan didn't want to talk about it, Lin Yi didn't ask. After a while, Panhu Wright brought the yellow-haired and purple-haired boys into the classroom with a depressed look on their faces. He looked at Lin Yi hatefully before sitting down in his seat. Looking at Han Jingjing fiddling with the 2 cauldrons not far away, Yu Coiling Tiger became more and more certain that Lin Yi must have asked for these cauldrons for Han Jingjing, and the introductory mental cultivation method and the alchemy fire condensation chant were also given to Han Jingjing from Boss Bai. Perhaps Lin Yi didn't want to share his art with others, so he asked for a common one from Boss Bai. Coincidentally, he thought that it was something good, and gave Han Jingjing 2 cauldrons for free. Not long after Panhu Wright came, Boss Bai came as well, starting today's class. At noon, not long after class, Lin Yi's phone rang. Lin Yi picked it up and saw that it was Han Xiaopa's number. Han Xiaopa? Lin Yi picked up the phone. Senior Lin, it's me. Han Xiaopa said, you received the message from before, right? I've prepared the color steel. Yes, Lin Yi said. Han Xiaopa said that he would give the color steel the next day, but because Lin Yi was busy with Su Shihan, he didn't have much time to see Han Xiaopa. Han Xiaopa, on the other hand, somehow got the news that Lin Yi invited Su Shihan to perform, so he sent a message to tell Lin Yi to attend to the freshman party first and come find Lin Yi after it was over. Senior Lin, congratulations on getting first place in the freshman party. Han Xiaopa said with a smile. You know about it? Lin Yi was puzzled when he heard that Han Xiaopa seemed to be very familiar with Lin Yi's things. It's like this. Our hidden Han family has a few distant relatives studying at Donghai Industry University. I was able to get some information from them. Han Xiaopa didn't hide it. I see. Lin Yi wasn't surprised at all. Even Panhu Wright came to school here, and it was normal for someone from the hidden house to come here as well. To put it bluntly, the hidden houses were still people. While some of the top masters were in isolation and focused on training, there were still many disciples who came out to train and learn in the common world. Senior Lin, are you free at noon? I'm at the entrance of Donghai Industry University right now. I've brought the color steel. Han Xiaopa said. I'm free at noon, where are you? Lin Yi asked. I'm at the school entrance. I didn't want to disturb Senior Lin's class, so I didn't text or call in advance. Han Xiaopa said. Okay, wait for me at the school entrance. Lin Yi said. Lin Yi hung up the phone and said goodbye to Bai Weiduo before leaving. Otherwise, everyone would go to the cafeteria for lunch every day. At the school entrance, Lin Yi saw Han Xiaopa from afar. Han Xiaopa was very low-key today. He didn't bring anyone with him, and he drove a Mercedes S600 instead of a sports car. Chapter 2050. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. Senior Lin, I've already booked a table at Donghai's Northern Ice Seafood Restaurant. I hope you'll do me the honor, Han Xiaopa said as he made a gesture of invitation and opened the door of the Mercedes S600. Let's go. Lin Yi sighed. Lin Yi wasn't really interested in food, but if Xiao Xiao were here, it would be a good choice to bring her along. The food here was really good, and the ingredients were fresh too. Xiao Xiao would definitely like it. This time, Han Xiaopa was the driver himself. After getting in the car, they went straight to Northern Ice Seafood Restaurant. This was Lin Yi's second time here, and there were still a lot of luxury cars parked in front of the restaurant. Han Xiaopa's Mercedes S600 didn't stand out at all. There were Bentleys, Rolls-Royces, and all sorts of sports cars. But, while Han Xiaopa's car wasn't particularly outstanding, he was warmly welcomed as soon as he walked in. Even the manager came running over. "Master Han, you're here?" Han Xiaopa nodded and said, "This is the honored guest. Welcome. Welcome to the Northern Ice Sea Seafood Restaurant. 2 esteemed guests, please enter the elevator. The private room is already prepared. Today, I will personally serve the 2 esteemed guests." The lobby manager quickly said. The hidden Han family that Han Xiaopa was from was the weakest hidden family in East Ocean City. Aside from the hidden Zhao family, the hidden Han family was the most powerful family in East Ocean City. Therefore, the managers and waiters of the restaurants didn't dare to slight them. "Mister, you look familiar. Have you been to our restaurant before?" The manager saw that Lin Yi looked familiar, so he asked while they were in the elevator. "Yeah, I came here with a friend a couple of days ago, but the prices here are too high. My friend got ripped off." Lin Yi smiled. The manager paused. He didn't know who Lin Yi was, but he knew who Han Xiaopa was. How could the hidden house not have money? Han Xiaopa drove a Mercedes S600 because he wanted to keep a low profile, but when Lin Yi said that the prices here were too high, the manager didn't know what to say. But he reacted quickly. "Huh, it's a bit high. I'll give you 2 a 50% discount." "No need for that." Han Xiaopa waved his hand and said, "Go get a VIP card for Senior Lin. In the future, when he comes here, he'll be free of charge. As long as Senior Lin signs the bill, the amount will be on me. I'll settle it at the end of the year." The hidden house Han didn't care about this small amount of money at all. House Han was rich and had treasures, but they didn't have a strong person in charge. That was why the other hidden houses were coveting and bullying them. If they could get Lin Yi closer to the hidden house Han, then this small amount of money wouldn't be a problem at all. Even if it was a bit more, the hidden house Hans could afford it. Okay. The manager was even more shocked. It seemed that this person called Master Lin was someone that even the hidden house Hans couldn't afford to offend. The hidden house probably had a favor to ask of him. So the manager quickly nodded. "I'll get someone to get it done in a bit. Not only can Master Lin's VIP card be used for spending, but you can also enjoy the highest VIP treatment in the future. 30% off, and you can enjoy the best VIP treatment in the private room. Okay, go ahead. Deposit 10 million in Master Lin's card. I'll swipe it when I pay." Han Xiaopa said calmly. Lin Yi didn't refuse. The more Han Xiaopa tried to please him, the more it showed how important the upcoming Hidden House Summit was to the Hidden House Hans. Especially the ranking at the summit. So seeing Han Xiaopa's attitude, Lin Yi decided to help them a bit more. Anyway, Han Xiaopa said that they wouldn't want the treasures they won at the summit. They would give them all to Lin Yi as a reward. In other words, the more Lin Yi won, the more treasures he would get. The private room this time was completely different from the private room Zhang Duopan used last time. The private room this time was as gorgeous as a palace, like a crystal palace, while the private room Zhang Duopan used last time could only be considered ordinary. This place couldn't be any more luxurious. It was even more luxurious than the Starlight Hotel in Songshan. Not only was the private room shockingly large, but the decorations were also exceptionally exquisite. There were all kinds of antiques and paintings of famous people everywhere. Even if they were fakes, they were still top-notch works. It was a great enjoyment to be able to admire famous people's paintings while eating. It seemed that this kind of private room could only be used by VIPs like Han Xiaopa. Ordinary customers with lower spending would never be invited to a private room of this level. "The dishes are ready. Shall we serve them now?" The lobby manager invited the 2 into the private room and asked carefully. "Senior Lin, what do you think?" Han Xiaopa didn't make the decision. Instead, he asked for Lin Yi's opinion. It's time to eat. Let's serve the dishes. We'll talk while eating. Lin Yi nodded and said, Did you hear that? Serve the dishes now. Han Xiaopa said to the lobby manager. Okay, I'll go and tell them now. The lobby manager nodded and left the private room to prepare. At this time, only Lin Yi and Han Xiaopa were left in the private room. Han Xiaopa smiled and took out a small box from his pocket. He pushed it in front of Lin Yi and said, Senior Lin, please check if this is the colored steel you need. Lin Yi nodded and reached out to take the small box. He thought to himself that Han Xiaopa was indeed trustworthy. He hadn't even helped them hide the Han family from the competition, but he had already taken out the reward. Moreover, it didn't matter if they won or lost. Lin Yi opened the small box. What he saw was a colorful metal material about the size of a quail egg. It looked like a piece of iron that had been sprayed with camouflage paint. However, according to Lin Yi's observation, this was definitely not a piece of iron that had been sprayed with paint. It was a naturally colored metal. Jiao Lao, is this colored steel? Lin Yi's expression didn't change. He pretended to observe the colored steel, but in his heart he asked Jiao Yazi. That's right, young Lin. This is indeed colored steel. Jiao Lao's voice sounded in Lin Yi's ear. However, this piece is too small. Colored steel is the main material among the 3 materials needed to expand the space in the jade pendant. It also requires the most amount. With such a small piece, the space for refining won't be too big. Chapter 2051. Yes, Senior Lin, the Han family only has this small piece left. Han Xiaopa said, This thing is useless to the hidden Han family. I heard that it's a supplementary material that only the legendary blacksmiths and high-ranked alchemists can use. The hidden Han family doesn't have any alchemists or blacksmiths, so it's useless even if we have it. We definitely won't keep it. I believe you. Lin Yi nodded. Since Han Xiaopa was able to give Lin Yi all the prizes, he must have put in a lot of effort. If there was more of this kind of colored steel, he wouldn't have kept it for himself. If Lin Yi found out about it, there would definitely be a crack in their relationship. At least, Lin Yi could see that the hidden Han family was trying to rope him in. As long as the hidden Han family's head wasn't stupid, he wouldn't do something so stupid. Senior Lin, is this colored steel not enough? Han Xiaopa asked. Yes, it's a little less. Lin Yi said lightly, Do you have more? That's hard to say. The hidden Han family doesn't have it anymore, but the other hidden families might have it. Han Xiaopa said, Because this thing isn't very useful to the hidden families. It's of little value, so we haven't asked around before. Lin Yi nodded and asked, That means this thing isn't very rare, but it's not very useful to the families, right? What would an alchemist need this thing for? Exactly. Han Xiaopa nodded and said, Although I don't know what Senior Lin needs this colored steel for, as far as I know, this thing can only be used by blacksmiths. As for alchemists, I heard that high-ranked alchemists can use it too. When they cast medicine cauldrons, they also need to add this colored steel. It turned out that casting medicine cauldrons also needed to add colored steel. No wonder the normal medicine cauldrons exploded as soon as they were used. Although the medicine cauldron Han Jingjing got from Right Coiling Tiger was made of copper, it was probably added with a special material like colored steel to make it usable for alchemists. So the colored steel I obtained can really be used to cast medicine cauldrons. Lin Yi nodded and said faintly. Lin Yi knew that if he used the hidden Han family to look for Kai steel, it would definitely arouse suspicion. Therefore, in order not to arouse suspicion, since Han Xiaopa said that Kai steel could be used to forge medicine cauldrons, Lin Yi directly pushed the blame onto medicine cauldrons. From what Senior Lin said, you're an alchemist. Han Xiaopa's eyes lit up. That's right, I am an alchemist. Lin Yi nodded and said, I have obtained a secret manual for casting cauldrons. I'm ready to try casting a cauldron for myself, so I've been looking for a lot of colored steel. However, I didn't know that colored steel could be used to cast cauldrons. Now that you've confirmed it, it seems that my secret manual is not fake. So that's how it is. I was wondering why Senior Lin was looking for this rare colored steel. Han Xiaopa said, but this colored steel can't be used by most people. However, during this hidden house summit, no one would intentionally use this thing as a treasure to bet, and the other forces wouldn't allow it either. After all, this thing isn't very useful to us. Then, how can I get more colored steel? Lin asked. Our hidden house Han can ask around on behalf of Senior Lin, but you'll have to rely on luck. Han Xiaopa said honestly, I'm not sure if I can get more colored steel. After all, in the ranks of the hidden houses, the hidden house Han doesn't have much of a say. If we could stand at the level of the hidden house Yu, or even the hidden house Zhao that just had a sky class, it would be easy to go to other houses to look for colored steel. Lin Yi nodded. With House Han's current strength, asking them to go to other hidden houses to look for colored steel was like asking a tiger for its skin. If he could help the hidden Han family win a few more matches in this hidden house summit, then he might be able to raise the hidden Han family's status a little bit. But this increase would depend on the Han family's own connections. If he were to count on them to help him find out more about Kai Gang, who knew how long it would take? Is there no other way? Lin Yi asked, a little disappointed. I can't say that there isn't. Han Xiaopa hesitated. Other ways are just luck. Let's hear it, Lin Yi said. Sometimes, having a way was better than having no way at all. One more way meant one more hope. Not long after the Hidden House Summit, there will be a cultivator's market. We can go there and take a look, Han Xiaopa said. Cultivator's market? What's that? Lin Yi asked, frowning. I'm guessing that Senior Lin probably doesn't know about the existence of the cultivator's market. That's why you brought it up. Looks like Senior Lin really doesn't know about it. Han Xiaopa nodded. Actually, our hidden house Han only found out about the cultivator's market in recent years. The cultivators who participate in the cultivator's market are all old cultivator families. There are also some lone cultivators who have masters to guide them. If other cultivators don't have masters to guide them, they won't be able to find it. Tell me about the cultivator's market. Lin Yi nodded. The cultivator's market, as the name suggests, is a place for cultivators to trade with each other. It's a small trade fair. There, cultivators can trade with each other. They can set up stalls to sell things they don't need, such as treasures, spiritual medicine, or cultivation manuals. They can sell them for money, or they can use them to exchange for things they need. Han Xiaopa explained, there are more lone cultivators there. Maybe we can find the other things that Kai Gang and Senior Lin need. So there really is a trade fair like this. Lin Yi suddenly understood, and his heart leaped with joy. With a trade fair like this, it would be much easier for him to find things in the future. And if Han Jingjing could concoct pills in the future, he could also concoct some pills to sell and exchange. It was a good way to go. Chapter 2052. I see. When will the Hidden House auction be held? Linist. I'm not too sure about that. Our Hidden Han family isn't very well informed. We'll only receive news before the auction. But I heard that the Hidden Family auction is organized by a few large hidden families. They'll send invitations when the time comes, Han Xiaopa said. If Senior Lin is interested, you can come with me. All right. Lin Yi nodded. Then keep an eye out for me. We'll go together. Don't worry, Senior Lin, I'll keep an eye out. Han Xiaopa said. As they spoke, there was a knock on the door. The waiter had come to deliver the dishes. The two of them stopped talking and waited for the waiter to bring the dishes to the table. After that, the manager gave them a few plates of fruits and a bottle of wine, as well as an ID card to Lin. Only then did he leave the room and close the door. Senior Lin, please eat. Han Xiaopa made a gesture. Let's talk while we eat. It's just the two of us, and there's no outsiders. There's no rules. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was hungry. He picked up his chopsticks without hesitation. Tell me first, when will the Hidden House Summit be held? What do I need to prepare? All right, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa nodded and picked up his chopsticks to eat with Lin. He said as he ate, the Hidden House Summit will be held on the 15th of this month. The location hasn't been announced yet, but this year's Hidden House Summit will be held in Donghai City if nothing goes wrong. The host of the Hidden House Summit is the Hidden House Zhao. Hidden House Zhao? Lin Yi's eyes flashed with a complicated look. This Hidden House Zhao could be considered as Lin Yi's enemy, but Zhao Qikuan was Lin Yi's follower. Actually, this hidden house summit is a little different from the previous ones. It's obvious that a few powerful hidden houses are working together to divide up the treasures our hidden Han family has found in the ancient ruins. Han Xiaopa said angrily. They can't take it openly because of the rules, so they're finding all sorts of excuses to force us to give them some of the treasures. The weak are prey to the strong. That's the rule in the world of practitioners. Lin Yi wasn't surprised. It wasn't that the hidden houses were unreasonable. The world of practitioners was a dog-eat-dog world. If you weren't strong enough, who could you blame? Lin Yi went to Hausen, injured Njenda, broke Jiang Wen's leg, and demanded a huge amount of compensation. All of this was because Lin Yi was strong enough. Breaking Zhao Qibing's leg multiple times, blowing up his building, crippling Uncle Zhu. This was all because Lin Yi was strong. Otherwise, Lin Yi would have died many times already. Of course I know that. Han Xiaopa smiled bitterly. But, even though we're not strong enough and we're prepared to pay a huge price, we don't want to lose too badly. Otherwise, we'd lose all our face in the hidden houses. That's why we want to invite you, Senior Lin. Even if we only win one match, it'll still give us some face. Huh, what if we win a few more? Lin asked. No matter how many matches we win, the bets will belong to you, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa's eyes lit up and he said, moreover, our hidden Han family's wager will belong to Senior Lin. Apart from that, Senior Lin can also take a few more treasures from our hidden Han family's treasure vault. You can also state some other conditions. Let's see what the competition is about. Lin Yi knew that Han Xiaopa's offer was tempting, but Lin Yi had to have the strength to get it. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't do something dangerous and suicidal. For those treasures, Lin Yi didn't want to lose his life. Helping House Han was just a matter of convenience. Han Xiaopa's performance from start to finish wasn't bad, but Lin Yi didn't have much of a relationship with the hidden house. All he did was take a piece of colored steel from them. As long as he helped them win the race, he wouldn't owe them anything. As for the rest, Lin Yi would act according to the situation. He wouldn't act blindly. I haven't received the details of the competition yet. We'll know when we get there, Han Xiaopa said. But according to previous competitions, there will definitely be racing, reflexes, and martial arts. Racing is 100%. It's an important competition to train the coordination of the practitioner's hands, feet, and brain. Racing? Lin smiled. I see that your driving skills aren't bad. Are they so sure they can beat you? My methods really aren't much. Han Xiaopa couldn't help but shake his head, a bitter expression on his face. I wonder if Senior Lin has heard of the hidden house Zhao? Han Xiaopa had received news that Lin Yi and the hidden Zhao family weren't on good terms, and that the hidden Zhao family had sent Zhao Guang'er kill Lin Yi last time, only to be killed by Lin Yi. However, it wasn't a good idea to say it out loud. The hidden Zhao family? Lin Yi picked up the glass of red wine in front of him and took a sip. He sneered. Do they have a racing expert? That's right. Han Xiaopa nodded. I heard that the hidden Zhao family took in an illegitimate son. His training isn't that great, but he's very good at racing. His racing skills are already quite good, and he was taken in as a disciple by a master of House Zhao. He's been training him to become a practitioner, and his coordination with his hands, feet, and brain has improved a lot. He's most likely going to win this race. Of course, that's if Senior Lin doesn't do anything. Lin Yi was drinking his red wine when he heard Han Xiaopa's words. He spat it out. You're talking about Zhao Qibing? Yes, that's Zhao Qibing. Han Xiaopa nodded. Do you know him, Senior Lin? Of course, how could I not? Lin smiled. That guy and I are enemies, but he's never had a good time in my hands. How did he become a racing expert? Chapter 2053. Lin Yi was speechless after hearing Han Xiaopa's introduction. He didn't think that this Zhao Qibing was a racer as well. Lin Yi was very surprised. He thought that this guy was a good-for-nothing. I don't see him participating in any races here. Lin said, That's true. According to our information, Zhao Qibing has been trying to get the hidden house Zhao's approval ever since he came back, so naturally he wouldn't be racing anymore. Wouldn't he be no different from the spoiled brat he used to be? He's been trying to make some achievements to get the hidden house Xiao's approval, but who would have thought that no matter what he did, he would fail and be accepted by the hidden house Xiao, bringing him back to his family. Han Xiaopa said, but we, the hidden house Han, don't know the reason and we didn't investigate it. Hidden house Han and hidden house Xiao were both hidden practitioner houses in Donghai, so naturally they paid more attention to each other's movements than other houses, but there were some secrets that they couldn't find out. Who would have thought that Zhao Qibing had this kind of ability? Lin Yi was very shocked. To be honest, I didn't know that this guy didn't even drive in Songshan. Man, I heard that he offended someone and got his legs broken a couple of times. How would he have the chance to drive? His legs are pretty good now. Han Xiaopa said, so, I saw Senior Lin's driving skills on the freeway, and I think that only Senior Lin can win against that Zhao Qibing. Lin Yi was speechless. I was the one who broke his legs. But, you seem to say that he's pretty strong. Should I find an excuse to break his legs again during the race? That way he won't be able to drive. Hiss. Han Xiaopa took in a cold breath. This Lin Yi Sr. was really ruthless, wanting to break Zhao Qibing's legs? However, Han Xiaopa explained, Senior Lin, you absolutely can't do that. The greatest taboo in the Hidden House Summit is for participants to fight in private. If there are people who cause trouble, the first person to cause trouble will be disqualified. So this won't work. I see. Lin Yi nodded, but if it was before the competition, Lin Yi wouldn't have the chance to meet Zhao Qibing. This guy was hiding in the Hidden House Zhao, and Lin Yi couldn't possibly go to the Hidden House Zhao, could he? That's right, so it's better for Senior Lin to bring out his true strength. However, in my opinion, Senior Lin will definitely be able to defeat him. Han Xiaopa said. Oh, then let's do our best. Lin Yi nodded and said, the Hidden House Summit is in the middle of this month. That's only a few days away. Can I bring my own car for the race, or must I use the car provided by the organizers? This is what I want to say next. Han Xiaopa said, you must use the car provided by the organizer. You are not allowed to bring your own car. Which of these hidden aristocratic families didn't have any connections? It's easy to modify a car, and it's even possible to modify a car into a plane. So, for the sake of fairness, we have to use the cars provided by the organizers to participate in the competition. Every car is fresh from the factory, so it's the same as new. Oh, then what car will be provided this time? Linist. This rule was fair, but in reality, it wasn't fair at all. If they purposely chose a car that Zhao Qibing was good at, even if it was a new car that hadn't been modified, he would still have an advantage over the others. Just as Han Xiaopa said, the Hidden House Summit was aimed at the Hidden House Han, so this race was probably already decided to be the Hidden House Zhao's winner. This way, the car selection would definitely be beneficial to Zhao Qibing. This car. After saying that, Han Xiaopa hesitated for a moment. Originally, the model of this car would only be known 2 days before the competition. However, our Han family has spies and informants. We found out that the hidden Zhao family had purchased a batch of cars, but what? Linist. But this car. Han Xiaopa hesitated. This car is the most common Jetta? I don't know what House Zhao is trying to do. Are they trying to confuse us or something? But I heard that House Zhao has been planning to enter the taxi business for a long time. Maybe after the cars are used up, they can just use it as a taxi business, and they can save a lot of money. After all, House Zhao isn't that rich, they're far from our Hidden House Han. Lin Yi nodded. If that Zhao Qibing is really good at racing, then the more ordinary the car is, the better the gap will be. The Jetta might be the car for this competition, but your Hidden House Han is quite rich, isn't it? Of course, in the ancient ruins we found, not only were there a lot of treasures for training, but there was also a lot of gold and silver, enough for us to spend for a few generations. It's fine even if we don't find a way to earn money in these few generations. Han Xiaopa said, Grandpa said that now is the time for House Han to stabilize its position as a hidden house, not the time for development. Stabilizing the hidden house's name and increasing our strength, only then can we research and develop. And our generation doesn't need to research about earning money. What you're doing is right. House Zhao is only using Zhao Qibing to test the waters to earn money in the common world. Your hidden house Han's foundation is still too shallow. Lin Yi agreed, but a few generations is a bit long. Make good use of this opportunity. Your generation might bring glory to the hidden house of Han. Lin Yi's eyes were no longer limited to the few noble houses in the common world. Lin Yi had basically settled all the noble houses in the common world, and Lin Yi was now looking at the hidden houses. Hidden House Zhao and Hidden House Yu both had Lin Yi's underlings. If he could pull Hidden House Han down, then Lin Yi would have more power in the Hidden House level. Only by combining all these forces would Lin Yi have the right to speak with the ancient sects and ancient noble houses on equal footing. Otherwise, even if Lin Yi became a sky-class master, he wouldn't be able to make the ancient sects and ancient noble houses fear him. Because Lin Yi was only one person, without a force behind him, he couldn't always guarantee the safety of his family and friends. Chapter 2054. If he accepted it, then Hidden House Han might very well become one of the hidden houses just like Lin Yi had said. After all, Han Xiaopa had some understanding of Lin Yi's past achievements. The common world's cultivation houses that were on good terms with Lin Yi were all doing very well. Those who were enemies with Lin Yi were either gone or struggling. So what if he had the hidden house's support? The common world House Yu was still destroyed, and the common world Xiao family and Kong family weren't doing too well either. This was all thanks to Lin Yi, who asked them to go against Lin Yi. However, Han Xiaopa wasn't the young master of Hidden House Han. There were some things that he couldn't decide, so he was in a difficult position. From his point of view, if Hidden House Han stood by Lin Yi's side, then it would be more beneficial than harmful. However, this was only his opinion. He wasn't sure how his grandfather saw it. However, there was only one chance. If he rejected it now, then Lin Yi wouldn't help Hidden House Han anymore in the future. After this Hidden House summit, their relationship would fade away. Senior Lin, Hidden House Han has a lot of cultivation materials and treasures, but I lack a master to guide me in my cultivation. Han Xiaopa made up his mind in an instant. Since he couldn't decide on the Hidden Han family's attitude, he could decide on his own. Hence, he immediately said, "If Senior Lin doesn't mind, please accept me as your disciple. Please guide me on the path of cultivation." Han Xiaopa's reaction was out of Lin Yi's expectation. What Lin Yi didn't expect was that Han Xiaopa would ask to be his disciple right away. Lin Yi really didn't know what to say. Seeing that Lin Yi didn't say anything, Han Xiaopa thought that Lin Yi wasn't satisfied with his attitude, but he could only smile bitterly and explain, "Senior Lin, although I'm a direct descendant of Hidden House Han, I can't make decisions in the Hidden House. I can't make the entire Hidden House listen to Senior Lin right now. However, I swear that one day, if I can become the head of Hidden House Han, I will follow Senior Lin's lead." Lin Yi nodded. "You want me to be your disciple?" Hidden House Han has the support of ancient ruins, but I don't have a master to guide me on the path of cultivation. I'm completely blind. Han Xiaopa didn't hide anything. Your disciple is only at the middle phase of the golden class right now. Your disciple knows that this level of strength isn't enough to catch Senior Lin's eye, but even this level of strength was forcefully increased by consuming the soul-gathering pill. Soul-gathering pill? Lin Yi had heard of this before. Most of the disciples of the hidden houses had used this to increase their strength. Yu Bing was the same. Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. Even the weakest disciple of the hidden house had such a good thing to use. Lin Yi had to train himself bit by bit to break through. You really can't compare yourself to others. Although he was already an earth class, when he thought back to when he was a golden class, how hard was it to break through to the mystic class? But mystic class was a common thing among the disciples of the hidden houses. Yes, in the ancient ruins we found some soul-gathering pills and soul-gathering pills. The soul-gathering pills were all used by the elders, so they have the strength of mystic class. As for us, the third-generation disciples, we only got the soul-gathering pills. I'm considered quite talented, using only 3 soul-gathering pills to reach the middle phase of the golden class. Han Xiaopa smiled bitterly. But there aren't many soul-gathering pills and soul-gathering pills left, and the hidden house Yu doesn't want to sell them to us. So, I'm worried about the future of cultivation. Never mind, I don't have plans to take in disciples at this age. But if you're willing, I can take you in as a follower. Linny said. But your loyalty still needs to be tested. Thank you, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa heard Lin Yi's words and quickly stood up. He cupped his fists. Boss, please accept this little brother's bow. With that, Han Xiaopa bowed respectfully to Lin. You're a quick one, taking advantage of the situation. You stood up as soon as I finished speaking. Lin Yi smiled faintly and waved his hand. But anyone can say nice things. It depends on your performance in the future. I'm taking a follower not because of your personal strength, but because of your loyalty. Senior Lin. No, Boss Lin, I'm the most loyal. I promise to listen to your orders. Han Xiaopa quickly said. Since you're loyal, then I can give you strength. Lin Yi said. Didn't you want to become my disciple to increase your strength? But my follower will receive the same treatment. I believe that your hidden Han family has already investigated my situation and knows about the situation of my brothers. You should have seen their strength in the past and present. I see. Han Xiaopa really did investigate the situation around Lin, but the entire hidden house Han was very puzzled. How did Lin Yi's followers, including Lin Yi's woman, suddenly increase in strength? At first, many of them were early phase golden class masters. Now, they're at peak late phase mystic class. It was unbelievable. Of course, although they were puzzled, they couldn't figure out what was going on. It wasn't until Lin Yi said it that Han Xiaopa realized that it was all thanks to Lin Yi. Thinking that he could increase his strength, Han Xiaopa's heart was filled with joy. Wasn't this what he'd been chasing after? If he could increase his strength, even if it was only to peak late phase golden class, then the family would give him 20 soul-gathering pills to help him break through golden class to mystic class. That way, Han Xiaopa's strength would be far ahead of the other 3 generations of the hidden house Han. The position of the 3rd generation young master would belong to him. Boss, I swear to the heavens that I'll only listen to you for the rest of my life. If I break this oath, then I'll lose all my strength and never be able to cultivate again. I'll become a cripple. Han Xiaopa immediately swore to the heavens. Lin Yi didn't really believe in oaths. In the face of absolute strength, oaths were a joke. But Han Xiaopa's oath was quite vicious. Losing all his strength and never being able to cultivate again was a nightmare for a practitioner. Normally, a practitioner with a bit of integrity wouldn't make such an oath. Han Xiaopa said this to express his sincerity to Lin Yi. Chapter 2055. Han Xiaopa didn't know how to answer Lin Yi's question. He had given everything he could to Lin Yi, and Lin Yi only needed the colored steel. If he didn't ask for anything else, Han Xiaopa wouldn't be able to prove his sincerity. But after some hesitation, Han Xiaopa raised his head. Boss, I don't know how to prove it, please tell me. Forget it, a long journey tests a horse's stamina, and time reveals a man's heart. If you're really a reliable person, I won't be stingy and help you increase your strength, but if you're a hypocrite, then forget it. Lin Yi said. Boss Lin, it's not that I'm in a rush or that I don't want to prove myself to you, but I have an idea. Han Xiaopa said after some hesitation. There's another event in the Hidden House Summit. It's a duo battle. If I can increase my strength, then I can go up there with you, boss. With your strength, you'll definitely be able to win, and I'll just stay on the sidelines and protect myself. This duo battle requires 2 people to go up there? Can't one person do it? Lin Yi asked. No, it has to be 2 people. Plus, if one of the 2 in the team is knocked down, the team loses. So no matter how strong the boss is, the follower is too weak. If he gets knocked down first, he'll still lose. Han Xiaopa explained. I see. Lin Yi frowned and went into deep thought. To be honest, Lin Yi had a good eye for people. This Han Xiaopa shouldn't have any ulterior motives towards him, but even so, Lin Yi didn't want to give him any benefits directly. Whether it was Chen Yutian, Wu Chentian, or Ling Shan, they had all been friends for a long time, and Lin Yi had just helped them level up. As for his new follower, Zhao Qikuan, it had been so long since Lin Yi had helped him level up, and it didn't make sense for him to do it for Han Xiaopa first. However, if there really was such an event in the competition that required 2 people to cooperate, then Han Xiaopa's low strength would definitely affect his results. By the way, boss, you mentioned earlier that you're an alchemist? Han Xiaopa took a deep breath and suddenly thought of a good way to defect. That's right. Why do you ask? Lin Yi nodded. Then, boss, do you know about the qi gathering pill? Han Xiaopa asked in a low voice. Qi gathering pills? Lin Yi narrowed his eyes and looked at Han Xiaopa. Why did you suddenly bring this up? Boss, I won't hide it from you. Our hidden Han family found a few sets of materials used to refine qi gathering pills in the ancient ruins. This has always been our hidden Han family's greatest secret. Only the core disciples know about it, and they were strictly forbidden from spreading it. Han Xiaopa said solemnly, Boss, you should know that this qi gathering pill might not mean much to ancient sects, but to hidden sects like us, it is something that we would fight over even if we had to break our heads to obtain. Han Xiaopa's words made Lin Yi nod. That's right. In the eyes of the hidden families and normal sects, the qi gathering pill is a priceless treasure. Boss, if you can help me increase my strength and continue to protect our hidden Han family, I'm willing to convince my grandfather to give you the materials to refine the qi gathering pill. Han Xiaopa said. Consider this a big gift from me, Han Xiaopa, to boss. This is our hidden Han family's secret. Now that I've told you about it, it more or less shows my sincerity. If news of this gets out, our hidden Han family will be robbed or even exterminated. Robbed? Exterminated? Not necessarily, right? Although the qi gathering pill is precious, if you only have the materials to refine it, the hidden families won't be able to refine it even if they take it away, right? Alchemists are very rare, and the alchemists of the hidden families are at most first rank. Only the hidden house of the right has a high-rank alchemist. But to refine a third-rank pill like the qi gathering pill, you'd need at least a fourth-rank alchemist. As far as I know, only the Sky Elixir School has such an expert, right? Lin Yi asked calmly. Boss, it seems that you still don't know much about the Sky Elixir School. Us hidden families can actually ask them to refine pills. Every time we refine a pill, we just need to provide more materials. No matter how many pills we refine, the Sky Elixir School will take half as a reward. If we only refine one pill, then we're out of luck and the Sky Elixir School will take it for themselves. Han Xiaopa said. The Sky Elixir School has such a rule? Then why don't you ask them to refine pills? Lin Yi asked curiously. Boss, the Sky Elixir School has this rule, but it's only for those houses that have a relationship with them. If you don't have a relationship with them, even if you ask them, they might not help you. Han Xiaopa smiled bitterly. Plus, even if we ask them to refine pills for us, with the hidden house Han's current strength, would they be able to keep the pills? They can't even keep the materials, let alone the pills. Han Xiaopa's words enlightened Lin. It was true. Back then, Boss Yu was willing to enter an ancient tomb filled with traps just for a qi gathering pill. It was enough to show how precious the pill was. If the hidden house Han managed to make the pill, then they might really be wiped out. The materials for the qi gathering pill were extremely rare, and with the hidden house's current strength, it would be hard for them to gather all of them. The ancient sects could gather them, but because of the drawbacks of the qi gathering pill, no one would refine it. However, the Sky Elixir School wouldn't reject a request from a hidden house like this. The reward they received, even if they sold it, could be exchanged for countless treasures or money. But, I'm curious. Are you really willing to give me the materials for the qi gathering pill? Or would your grandpa agree to your suggestion? Lin Yi looked at Han Xiaopa strangely. An innocent man gets into trouble because of his treasures. This thing in our hidden house Han, we either keep it hidden and never see the light of day, or we'll get into trouble if we take it out. Han Xiaopa said. With the current development of our hidden house Han, we won't be able to have an Earth-class late-phase peak or Sky-class for a few generations. As long as there isn't a Sky-class in our house, we wouldn't dare take the materials out. Unless there's an Earth-class late-phase peak who uses it directly after making the pill, but that's risky as well. Without absolute confidence, we wouldn't ask someone to make us a pill. Chapter 2056. Descendants. Han Xiaopa shook his head and sighed. We can't hold on much longer, and you're talking about descendants? This Hidden House Summit is just the beginning of dividing up the hidden Han family. Now that they've tasted the sweetness, there might be even more activities like trials, competitions, bets, and so on. Anyway, it's going to get harder and harder for the hidden Han family. It's hard to say if we can even survive this generation, so how can we have descendants? Lin Yi didn't expect Han Xiaopa to think so much. But if what he said was true, then Hidden House Han might really be swallowed up in the future. So, I'm giving this to you, boss. If you can help Hidden House Han and bring us out of this predicament, then this price is worth it. Even if we don't have this thing in the future, Hidden House Han will hold on to us. Even if we can't stand out, we won't be at the bottom. Han Xiaopa's analysis was very clear. Alright, since you've told me the secret of Hidden House Han, then I'll make an exception and help you this time at the Hidden House Summit. Lin said, if Hidden House Han doesn't lose too much at the summit, then they probably won't hold events like this anymore. That's natural. They won't be interested in things that don't benefit them. If they don't benefit from us this time, then they won't organize any other events other than the regular summit. Han Xiaopa nodded. Of course, even if they lose a little with you standing up for them, those hidden houses will have to think twice. After all, Earth-class late-phase masters are the top of the family's power. It's not something they can afford to lose just like that. Hee hee. Lin Yi smiled faintly. Prepare the ingredients for the Qi gathering pill. I'll pay a visit to the Hidden House Han 2 days before the Hidden House Summit. Just bring it to me then. All right, no problem. After saying that, Han Xiaopa hesitated for a moment. But with my strength, should I bring the materials over in the afternoon? No need. You don't have to worry about your strength. Lin Yi said, you don't trust me? Of course I do. Since you have a well-thought-out plan, I won't say more. Han Xiaopa nodded. Boss, let's eat. After the meal, Han Xiaopa sent Lin Yi back to school and rushed back to the Hidden Han family to meet the current head of the Hidden Han family, Han Tianba. Of course, although Grandfather Han's name was domineering, it was not domineering in the ranks of the hidden families. Han Xiaopa told Old Master Han everything that had happened during lunch in detail. When Han Tianba heard this, he was shocked. Xiaopa, you are really bold. You actually told us the family's big secret. Aren't you afraid of getting yourself into trouble? That Lin Yi is someone who can easily kill an Earth-class late-phase master. It would be as easy as flipping his hand for him to destroy our Hidden Han family. If boss is interested in our Hidden House of Han, he would have been tempted when I told him that we found the ancient ruins. However, even after I gave him the colored steel, boss still wasn't interested in our Hidden House of Han, Han Xiaopa said. This is enough to show that boss isn't a greedy person. Even if that's the case, our Hidden House's foundation is too shallow. We have to be careful. Han Tianba said. Plus, isn't it a bit too much to give away the materials for the Qi gathering pill? It's not too much. If boss is really on our side wholeheartedly, at least those who want to get their hands on our Hidden House will have to think about the consequences. Han Xiaopa said. But do they think that Lin Yi will help us when the time comes? Han Tianba asked. Grandpa, under normal circumstances, of course not. But now that I'm boss's follower, there's no problem. Han Xiaopa said. Boss is famous for being protective. Think about that time in the Common World's Noble House meeting. Boss stood up for his follower and even destroyed the Common House U. What could the Hidden House U do? Didn't they suffer a loss in the end? Then, when Lin Yi was sick, he wanted to cause trouble, but Yu Lu died. Xiaopa, you're very observant. Han Tianba nodded slowly. But although Lin Yi is protective, if you have the intention to use him and he sees through it, it'll be a disaster. Grandpa, Xiaopa doesn't have the intention to use boss at all. Han Xiaopa said. Boss has such great strength and power. I really want to be his follower. This way, I can learn more things and increase my strength. If that's the case, I won't say anything more. Han Tianba said. This is an opportunity for us Hidden House. If we grasp it well, we can make a comeback. If we don't, we'll be doomed. But if we don't grasp it, we'll be doomed as well. So, we can only bet on Lin Yi. Yes, Grandpa. Han Xiaopa said. Plus, I promised boss Lin Yi that if I become the head of the Hidden House Han, I'll follow his lead. Han Tianba's eyes focused on Han Xiaopa. He saw ambition in Han Xiaopa. Han Xiaopa actually wanted to fight for the position of the hidden house Han's young master, and he said it without hiding anything. This surprised Han Tianba. However, Han Tianba didn't reprimand him. Instead, he said, if we really use Lin Yi's help to win a few matches and get out of our current predicament, it means that Lin Yi is really capable. The responsibility of building a good relationship with him will fall on your shoulders. Yes, Grandpa. Han Xiaopa, of course, understood Han Tianba's meaning. Han Xiaopa immediately said happily, "You can go now. I'll make some preparations here. I'll ask your ninth uncle to find out more about the other matches. If Lin Yi can win a few more matches, I'll let those families that are plotting against the hidden house Han know what it means to go for wool and come home shorn." Han Tianba thought about Lin Yi's notoriety and felt a little more confident. After Lin Yi returned to school, he temporarily put aside the matter of participating in the Hidden House Summit for the Hidden House Han. Instead, he thought about the Qi-gathering pill. Chapter 2057. Lin Yi was speechless after hearing Han Xiaopa's introduction. He didn't think that this Zhao Qibing was a racer as well. Lin Yi was very surprised. He thought that this guy was a good-for-nothing. "I've never seen him participate in any races here?" Lin Yi said. "That's true. According to our intel, Zhao Qibing has been trying to get the Hidden House Zhao's approval ever since he came back, so naturally, he wouldn't be racing anymore. Wouldn't he be no different from his previous image? He's been trying to make some achievements to get the Hidden House Zhao's approval, but who would have thought that he would fail and be accepted by the Hidden House Zhao? They took him back and let him return to his family." Han Xiaopa said, "But we, the Hidden House Han, don't know the reason and we didn't investigate it. Hidden House Han and Hidden House Zhao were both hidden practitioner houses in Donghai, so they naturally paid more attention to each other's movements than other houses. But there were some secrets that they couldn't find out. Who would have thought that Zhao Qibing had this kind of ability?" Lin Yi was very shocked. "To be honest, I didn't know that this guy didn't even drive in songs, Han. Man, I heard that he offended someone and got his legs broken a couple of times. How would he have the chance to drive? His legs are pretty good now." Han Xiaopa said, "So, I saw Senior Lin's driving skills on the freeway, and I think that only Senior Lin can win against that Zhao Qibing." Lin Yi was speechless. "I was the one who broke his legs. But this guy seems to be pretty good from what you said. You seem to say that this guy is quite powerful. How about I find a reason to break his legs again during the competition? He won't be able to drive then." Hiss. Han Xiaopa took in a cold breath. This Lin Yi Sr. was really ruthless, wanting to break Zhao Qibing's legs? However, Han Xiaopa explained, "Senior Lin, you absolutely can't do that. During the Hidden House Summit, the most taboo thing is for participants to fight in private. If there are any troublemakers, they will be punished. If there's a troublemaker, they'll be disqualified, so this won't work." "I see." Lin Yi nodded, but if it was before the competition, Lin Yi wouldn't have had the chance to interact with Zhao Qibing. This guy was now hiding in the hidden Zhao family and not coming out. Lin Yi couldn't possibly kill his way to the hidden Zhao family, right? That's right, so it's better for Senior Lin to bring out his true strength. However, in my opinion, Senior Lin will definitely be able to defeat him." Han Xiaopa said. "Oh, then let's do our best." Lin Yi nodded and said, "The Hidden House Summit is in the middle of this month. That's only a few days away. During the competition, you can bring your own car. Or do we have to use the car provided by the organizer?" "This is what I want to say next." Han Xiaopa said, "You must use the car provided by the organizer. You are not allowed to bring your own car. Which of these hidden aristocratic families didn't have any connections? It's easy to modify a car, and it's even possible to modify a car into a plane. So, for the sake of fairness, we have to use the cars provided by the organizers to participate in the competition. Every car is fresh from the factory, so it's the same as new." "Then what car will be provided this time?" Lin asked. This rule was fair, but in reality, it wasn't. If he purposely chose a car that Zhao Qibing was good at, even if it was a new car that hadn't been modified before, he would still have an advantage over the others. Just as Han Xiaopa had said, this hidden aristocratic family summit was aimed at the hidden Han family. Then this race would be then this race might have already been decided as the hidden house's victory. If that was the case, then the car would definitely be in Zhao Qibing's favor. This car. After saying that, Han Xiaopa hesitated for a moment. Originally, the model of this car would only be known 2 days before the competition. However, our Han family has spies and informants. We found out that the hidden Zhao family had purchased a batch of cars, but what? Linist. But this car. Han Xiaopa hesitated. This car is the most common Jetta? I don't know what House Zhao is trying to do. Are they trying to confuse us or something? But I heard that House Zhao has been planning to enter the taxi business for a long time. Maybe after the car is used up, they can use it as a taxi business and save a lot of money. After all, House Zhao isn't that rich, they're far from us. Lin Yi nodded. If that Zhao Qibing is really good at racing, then the more common the car is, the more he can pull the gap. The Jetta might be the car for this competition, but your hidden house Han is quite rich? Of course, in the ancient ruins we found, not only were there many treasures for training, there was also a lot of gold and silver, enough for us to spend for a few generations. It's fine even if we don't find a way to earn money in these few generations. Han Xiaopa said, Grandpa said that now is the time for us to stabilize our position as a hidden house, not for development. We need to stabilize our position as a hidden house and increase our strength before we can research and develop. And our generation doesn't need to research about earning money. What you're doing is right. Hidden House Zhao is only using Zhao Qibing to test the waters to earn money in the common world. Your hidden house's foundation is still too shallow. Lin Yi agreed, but a few generations is a bit long. Make good use of this opportunity. Your generation might bring glory to the hidden house of Han. Lin Yi's eyes were no longer limited to the few noble houses in the common world. Lin Yi had basically taken care of all the noble houses in the common world. Lin Yi's eyes were now on the hidden houses. Hidden House Zhao and Hidden House Yu both had Lin Yi's underlings. If he could pull Hidden House Han down, then Lin Yi's words would have more weight in the hidden house's hierarchy. Only by combining all these forces would Lin Yi have the right to speak with the ancient sects and ancient noble houses on equal footing. Otherwise, even if Lin Yi became a sky-class master, he wouldn't be able to make the ancient sects and ancient noble houses fear him. Because Lin Yi was only one person, without a force behind him, he couldn't always guarantee the safety of his family and friends. Han Xiaopa was able to stand out among the disciples of House Han, so naturally, he wasn't an idiot. After hearing Lin Yi's words, his eyes lit up, and he was deep in thought. He knew that Lin Yi was throwing out an olive branch, and whether he accepted it or not, it was all up to him. To be continued, RQ. Chapter 2058. If he accepted it, then Hidden House Han might very well become one of the hidden houses just like Lin Yi had said. After all, Han Xiaopa had some understanding of Lin Yi's past achievements. The common world's cultivation houses that were on good terms with Lin Yi were all doing very well. Those who were enemies with Lin Yi were either gone or struggling. So what if he had the hidden house's support? The common world House Yu was still destroyed, and the common world Xiao family and Kong family weren't doing too well either. This was all thanks to Lin Yi, who asked them to go against Lin Yi. However, Han Xiaopa wasn't the young master of Hidden House Han. There were some things that he couldn't decide on, so he was in a difficult position. From his perspective, if Hidden House Han stood by Lin Yi's side, it would be more beneficial than harmful. However, this was only his opinion. He didn't know how his grandfather saw it. However, there was only one chance. If he rejected it now, then Lin Yi probably wouldn't help Hidden House Han in the future. After this Hidden House summit, everyone's relationship would fade away. Senior Lin, Hidden House Han has a lot of cultivation materials and treasures, but I lack a master to guide me in my cultivation. Han Xiaopa made up his mind in an instant. Since he couldn't decide on the Hidden Han family's attitude, he could decide on his own. Hence, he immediately said, if Senior Lin doesn't mind, please accept me as your disciple. Please guide me on the path of cultivation. Han Xiaopa's reaction was out of Lin Yi's expectation. What Lin Yi didn't expect was that Han Xiaopa would ask to be his disciple right away. Lin Yi didn't know what to say. Seeing that Lin Yi didn't say anything, Han Xiaopa thought that Lin Yi wasn't satisfied with his attitude, but he could only smile bitterly and explain, Senior Lin, although I'm a direct descendant of Hidden House Han, I can't make decisions on matters of the Hidden House. I can't make the entire Hidden House listen to Senior Lin. However, I swear that one day, if I can become the head of Hidden House Han, I will follow Senior Lin's lead. Lin Yi nodded. You want me to be your disciple? Hidden House Han has the support of ancient ruins, but I don't have a master to guide me on the path of cultivation. I'm completely blind. Han Xiaopa didn't hide anything. Your disciple is only at the middle phase of the golden class right now. Your disciple knows that this level of strength isn't enough to catch Senior Lin's eye, but even this level of strength was forcefully increased by consuming the soul-gathering pill. Soul-gathering pill? Lin Yi had heard of this before. Most of the disciples of the hidden houses had used this to increase their strength. Yu Bing was the same. Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. Even the weakest disciple of the hidden house had such a good thing to use. Lin Yi had to break through bit by bit. You really can't compare yourself to others. Although he was already an earth class, but thinking back to when he was a golden class, how hard was it to break through to the mystic class? But mystic class was a common thing among the disciples of the hidden houses. Yes, in the ancient ruins we found some soul-gathering pills and soul-gathering pills. The soul-gathering pills were all used by the elders, so they have the strength of mystic class. As for us, the third-generation disciples, we only got the soul-gathering pills. I'm considered quite talented, using only 3 soul-gathering pills to reach the middle phase of the golden class. Han Xiaopa smiled bitterly. But there aren't many soul-gathering pills and soul-gathering pills left, and the hidden house Yu doesn't want to sell them to us. So, I'm worried about the future of cultivation. Never mind, I don't have plans to take in disciples at this age. But if you're willing, I can take you in as a follower. Lin Yi said. But your loyalty still needs to be tested. Thank you, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa heard Lin Yi's words and quickly stood up. He cupped his fists. Boss, please accept this little brother's bow. With that, Han Xiaopa bowed respectfully to Lin. You're a quick one, taking advantage of the situation. You stood up as soon as I finished speaking. Lin Yi smiled faintly and waved his hand. But anyone can say nice things. It depends on your performance in the future. I'm taking a follower not because of your personal strength, but because of your loyalty. Senior Lin. No, Boss Lin, I'm the most loyal. I promise to listen to your orders. Han Xiaopa quickly said. Since you're loyal, then I can give you strength. Lin Yi said. Didn't you want to become my disciple to increase your strength? But my follower will receive the same treatment. I believe that your hidden Han family has already investigated my situation and knows about the situation of my brothers. You should have seen their strength before and their current strength. I see. Han Xiaopa really did investigate the situation around Lin, but the entire hidden house Han was very puzzled. How did Lin Yi's followers, including Lin Yi's woman, suddenly increase in strength? At first, many of them were early phase golden class masters. Now, they're at peak late phase mystic class. It was unbelievable. Of course, although they were puzzled, they couldn't figure out what was going on. It wasn't until Lin Yi said it that Han Xiaopa realized that it was all thanks to Lin Yi. Thinking that he could increase his strength, Han Xiaopa's heart was filled with joy. Wasn't this what he'd been chasing after? If he could increase his strength, even if it was only to peak late phase golden class, then the family would give him 20 soul-gathering pills to help him break through golden class to mystic class. That way, Han Xiaopa's strength would be far ahead of the other 3 generations of the hidden house Han. The position of the 3rd generation young master would belong to him. Boss, I swear to the heavens that I'll only listen to you for the rest of my life. If I break this oath, then I'll lose all my strength and never be able to cultivate again. I'll become a cripple. Han Xiaopa immediately swore. Lin Yi didn't really believe in oaths. In the face of absolute strength, oaths were a joke. But Han Xiaopa's oath wasn't anything but vicious. Losing all his strength and being unable to practice anymore was a nightmare for practitioners, and any practitioner with a bit of integrity wouldn't make an oath like this. Han Xiaopa was only saying this to show his sincerity to Lin Yi. How can I prove your loyalty? Lin looked at Han Xiaopa and asked faintly. Chapter 2059. Han Xiaopa didn't know how to answer Lin Yi's question. He had given everything he could to Lin Yi, and Lin Yi only needed the colored steel. If he didn't ask for anything else, Han Xiaopa wouldn't be able to prove his sincerity. But after some hesitation, Han Xiaopa raised his head. Boss, I don't know how to prove it, please tell me. Forget it, a long journey tests a horse's stamina, and time reveals a man's heart. If you're really a reliable person, I won't be stingy and help you increase your strength, but if you're a hypocrite, then forget it. Lin Yi said. Boss Lin, it's not that I'm in a rush or that I don't want to prove myself to you, but I have an idea. Han Xiaopa said after some hesitation. There's another event in the Hidden House Summit. It's a duo battle. If I can increase my strength, then I can go up there with you, boss. With your strength, you'll definitely be able to win, and I'll just stay on the sidelines and protect myself. This duel requires 2 people to go on stage at the same time? Can't one person do it? Lin Yi asked. No, it has to be 2 people. Plus, if one of the 2 in the team is knocked down, the team loses. So no matter how strong the boss is, the follower is too weak. If he gets knocked down first, he'll still lose. Han Xiaopa explained. I see. Lin Yi frowned and went into deep thought. To be honest, Lin Yi had a good eye for people. This Han Xiaopa shouldn't have any ulterior motives towards him, but even so, Lin Yi didn't want to give him any benefits directly. Whether it was Chen Yutian, Wu Chentian, or Lingshan, they had all been friends for a long time, and Lin Yi had just helped them level up. As for his new follower, Zhao Qikuan, it had been so long since Lin Yi had helped him level up, and it didn't make sense for him to do it for Han Xiaopa first. However, if there really was such an event in the competition that required 2 people to cooperate, then Han Xiaopa's low strength would definitely affect his results. By the way, boss, you mentioned earlier that you're an alchemist? Han Xiaopa took a deep breath and suddenly thought of a good way to defect. That's right. Why do you ask? Lin Yi nodded. Then, boss, do you know about the Qi gathering pill? Han Xiaopa asked in a low voice. Qi gathering pills? Lin Yi narrowed his eyes and looked at Han Xiaopa. Why did you suddenly bring this up? Boss, I won't hide it from you. Our hidden Han family found a few sets of materials used to refine Qi gathering pills in the ancient ruins. This has always been our hidden Han family's greatest secret. Only the core disciples know about it, and they were strictly forbidden from spreading it. Han Xiaopa said solemnly, Boss, you should know that this Qi gathering pill might not mean much to ancient sects, but to hidden sects like us, it is something that we would fight over even if we had to break our heads to obtain. Han Xiaopa's words made Lin Yi nod. That's right. In the eyes of the hidden families and normal sects, the Qi gathering pill is a priceless treasure. Boss, if you can help me increase my strength and continue to protect our hidden Han family, I'm willing to convince my grandfather to give you the materials to refine the Qi gathering pill. Han Xiaopa said. Consider this a big gift from me, Han Xiaopa, to boss. This is our hidden Han family's secret. Now that I've told you about it, it more or less shows my sincerity. If news of this gets out, our hidden Han family will be robbed or even exterminated. Robbed? Exterminated? Not necessarily, right? Although the Qi gathering pill is precious, if you only have the materials to refine it, the hidden families won't be able to refine it even if they take it away, right? Alchemists are very rare, and the alchemists of the hidden families are at most first rank. Only the hidden house of the right has a high-rank alchemist. But to refine a third-rank pill like the Qi gathering pill, you'd need at least a fourth-rank alchemist. As far as I know, only the Sky Elixir School has such an expert, right? Lin Yi asked calmly. Boss, it seems that you still don't know much about the Sky Elixir School. Us hidden families can actually ask them to refine pills. Every time we refine a pill, we just need to provide more materials. No matter how many pills we refine, the Sky Elixir School will take half as a reward. If we only refine one pill, then we're out of luck and the Sky Elixir School will take it for themselves, Han Xiaopa said. Oh, the Sky Elixir School has such a rule? Then why don't you ask them to refine pills? Lin Yi asked curiously. Boss, the Sky Elixir School has this rule, but it's only for those houses that have a relationship with them. If you don't have a relationship with them, even if you beg them, they might not help you. Han Xiaopa smiled bitterly. Plus, even if we asked them to refine pills for us, with the hidden house Han's current strength, would they be able to keep the pills? They can't even keep the materials, let alone the pills. Han Xiaopa's words enlightened Lin. It was true. Back then, Boss Yu was willing to enter an ancient tomb filled with traps just for a qi-gathering pill. It was enough to show how precious the pill was. If the hidden house Han managed to make the pill, then they might really be wiped out. The materials for the qi-gathering pill were extremely rare, and with the hidden house's current strength, it would be hard for them to gather all of them. The ancient sects could gather them, but because of the drawbacks of the qi-gathering pill, no one would refine it. However, the Sky Elixir School wouldn't reject a request from a hidden house like this. The reward they received, even if they sold it, could be exchanged for countless treasures or money. But I'm curious. Are you really willing to give me the materials for the qi-gathering pill? Or would your grandfather agree to your suggestion? Lin Yi looked at Han Xiaopa strangely. An innocent man gets into trouble because of his treasures. This thing in our hidden house Han, we either keep it hidden and never see the light of day, or we'll get into trouble if we take it out. Han Xiaopa said, with the current development of our hidden house Han, we won't be able to have an Earth-class late-phase peak or Sky-class for a few generations. As long as there isn't a Sky-class in our house, we wouldn't dare take the materials out. Unless there's an Earth-class late-phase peak who uses it directly after making it, but that's risky as well. Without absolute confidence, we wouldn't take it out to ask someone to make us a pill. But keeping the materials for the qi-gathering pill is also a ray of hope. Even if it's not possible now, don't you think about the future generations? Lin Yi smiled faintly. This qi-gathering pill is the hope of breaking through to Sky Class. Chapter 2060. Descendants? Han Xiaopa shook his head and sighed. We can't hold on much longer, and you're talking about descendants? This Hidden House Summit is just the beginning of dividing up the Hidden Han family. Now that they've tasted the sweetness, there might be even more activities like trials, competitions, bets, and so on. Anyway, it's going to get harder and harder for the Hidden Han family. It's hard to say if we can even survive this generation, so how can we have descendants? Lin Yi didn't expect Han Xiaopa to think so much. But if what he said was true, then Hidden House Han might really be swallowed up in the future. So, I'm giving this to you, boss. If you can help Hidden House Han and bring us out of this predicament, then this price is worth it. Even if we don't have this thing in the future, Hidden House Han will hold on to us. Even if we can't stand out, we won't be at the bottom. Han Xiaopa's analysis was very clear. Alright, since you've told me the secret of Hidden House Han, then I'll make an exception and help you this time at the Hidden House Summit. Lin said, if Hidden House Han doesn't lose too much at the summit, then they probably won't hold events like this anymore. That's natural. They won't be interested in things that don't benefit them. If they don't benefit from us this time, then they won't organize any other events other than the regular summit. Han Xiaopa nodded. Of course, even if they lose a little with you standing up for them, those hidden houses will have to think twice. After all, Earth-class late-phase masters are the top of the family's power. It's not something they can afford to lose just like that. Hee hee. Lin Yi smiled faintly. Prepare the ingredients for the qi-gathering pill. I'll pay a visit to the Hidden House Han 2 days before the Hidden House Summit. Just bring it to me then. Alright, no problem. After saying that, Han Xiaopa hesitated for a moment. But with my strength, should I bring the materials over in the afternoon? No need. You don't have to worry about your strength. Lin Yi said, you don't trust me? Of course I do. Since you have a well-thought-out plan, I won't say more. Han Xiaopa nodded. Boss, let's eat. After the meal, Han Xiaopa sent Lin Yi back to school and rushed back to the Hidden Han family to meet the current head of the Hidden Han family, Han Tianba. Of course, although Grandfather Han's name was domineering, it was not domineering in the ranks of the hidden families. Han Xiaopa told him about lunch. He sent it to Old Master Han via WeChat. When Han Tianba heard this, he was shocked. Xiaopa, you are really bold. You actually told us the family's big secret. Aren't you afraid of getting yourself into trouble? That Lin Yi is someone who can easily kill an Earth-class late-phase master. It would be as easy as flipping his hand for him to destroy our hidden Han family. If boss is interested in our hidden house of Han, he would have been tempted when I told him that we found the ancient ruins. However, even after I gave him the colored steel, boss still wasn't interested in our hidden house of Han, Han Xiaopa said. This is enough to show that boss isn't a greedy person. That being said, our hidden house's foundation is too shallow. We have to be careful, Han Tianba said. Plus, isn't it a bit too much to give away the materials for the Qi gathering pill? It's not too much. If boss is really on our side wholeheartedly, at least those who want to get their hands on our hidden house will have to think about the consequences. Han Xiaopa said. But do they think that Lin Yi will help us when the time comes? Han Tianba asked. Grandpa, under normal circumstances, of course not. But now that I'm boss's follower, there's no problem. Han Xiaopa said, boss is famous for being protective. Think about that time in the common world's noble house meeting. Boss stood up for his underlings and even the common house you was destroyed. What could the hidden house you do? Didn't they suffer a loss in the end? Then, when Lin Yi was sick, he wanted to cause trouble, but Yu Lu died. Xiaopa, you're very observant. Han Tianba nodded slowly. But although Lin Yi is protective, if you have the intention to use him and he sees through it, it'll be a disaster. Grandpa, Xiaopa doesn't have the intention to use boss at all. Han Xiaopa said, boss has such great magical powers and power. I really want to be his follower. This way, I can learn more things and improve my strength. If that's the case, I won't say anything more. Han Tianba said. This is an opportunity for us hidden house. If we grasp it well, we can make a comeback. If we don't, we'll be doomed. But if we don't grasp it, we'll be doomed as well. So, we can only bet on Lin Yi. Yes, Grandpa. Han Xiaopa said. Plus, I promised boss Lin Yi that if I become the head of the hidden house Han, I'll follow his lead. Han Tianba's eyes focused on Han Xiaopa. He saw ambition in Han Xiaopa. Han Xiaopa actually wanted to fight for the position of the hidden house Han's young master, and he said it without hiding anything. This surprised Han Tianba. However, Han Tianba didn't reprimand him. Instead, he said, if we really use Lin Yi's help to win a few matches and get out of our current predicament, it means that Lin Yi is really capable. The responsibility of building a good relationship with him will fall on your shoulders. Yes, Grandpa. Han Xiaopa, of course, understood Han Tianba's meaning. Han Xiaopa said happily. You can go now. I'll make some preparations here. I'll ask your ninth uncle Han to find out more about the other matches. If Lin Yi can win a few more matches, I'll let those families that are plotting against the hidden house Han know what it means to go for wool and come home shorn. Han Tianba thought about Lin Yi's notoriety and felt a little more confident. After Lin Yi returned to school, he temporarily put the matter of participating in the Hidden House Summit on behalf of the Hidden House Han to the back of his mind. Instead, he thought about the Qi Gathering Pill. The Qi Gathering Pill was a yellow class level 3 pill. It was the same as the Ice Heart Jade Bone pill that Miss Rock Candy wanted to refine. Chapter 2061. However, Han Jingjing could only successfully concoct a yellow class level 2 pill at the moment. Moreover, the success rate was not guaranteed. Yellow class level 3 was almost impossible. It was said that only a Heaven Realm Master, a yellow class level 4 pill master, could successfully concoct a yellow class level 3 pill. To have a 100% success rate, one must reach the level of a mystic level 1 alchemist. Otherwise, even a Huang level 4 alchemist would only have a higher success rate, but not a 100% success rate. So now Lin Yi was facing two problems. One was to raise his own strength to Heaven class, and then raise Han Jingjing's strength to Earth class. This way, it would be possible for Han Jingjing to control the level 3 alchemy fire as she pleased. But it was obviously more difficult for him to advance to Heaven class, at least for now. But with the help of the Qi Gathering Pill, Lin Yi felt that he should be able to advance to Heaven class very quickly. At that time, raising Han Jingjing's strength would be a piece of cake. However, the Qi Gathering Pill was also a yellow grade level 3 pill. If his strength could not reach heaven grade, then Han Jingjing would not be able to advance to earth grade, and if Han Jingjing could not advance to earth grade, then she would not be able to refine the qi-gathering pill. This was an endless loop. If one succeeded, then the others would naturally succeed. If one failed, then the others would not be able to succeed. Thinking of these things, Lin Yi had a headache. It was clearly something that was within reach, but it was so far away. The materials of the qi-gathering pill were precious in Lin Yi's hands, but if it could not be used, it was a waste. However, if Lin Yi himself broke through to heaven class, and then raised Han Jingjing to the peak of the late phase of earth class, she would be able to refine a level 3 pill. Then even if the qi-gathering pill was refined, it would not be of much use to a heaven class master like Lin Yi. Although it could make Lin Yi's strength increase faster, it was not fast at the current stage. Lin Yi's heart was pressured by the 2-year promise, so he naturally did not have much time to waste. 2 years, there was still more than a year left. Lin Yi did not dare to say that he had 100% confidence in advancing to heaven class. Therefore, how to use the materials of this qi-gathering pill became a difficult problem for Lin Yi. Lin Yi needed this qi-amassing pill to increase his chances of breaking through to heaven stage, but to refine the qi-amassing pill, he needed the strength of heaven stage as a foundation. A level 4 alchemist, without the strength of heaven stage as a backing, would find it difficult to refine a level 3 pill. Even a Sky Class 4th level refiner couldn't guarantee a 100% success rate in making a 3rd level elixir. Only a mystic 1st level refiner like Zhang Liju would be able to do it. Otherwise, even if it was a yellow rank 7th level pill refinement master, there was a possibility of failure when refining a yellow rank pill refinement master. Naturally, there were no absolutes in this world. Han Jingjing might be a genius, but even if she was a genius, her strength had to be at the heaven rank. As a result, Lin Yi felt very wronged. He had the materials, but he couldn't refine them. Even if he could, the effects wouldn't be as great as they were now, and he didn't need them as urgently anymore. How could he improve his strength to the next level? This was what Lin Yi wanted to do right now. Although, breaking through from Earth class early phase to Earth class mid phase was already considered very fast for other practitioners, and without the help of elixirs and legacies, Lin Yi's speed was already very fast. But Lin Yi himself knew that the reason why he was able to reach Earth class early phase peak so quickly from Earth class early phase peak had to do with the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, as well as the fact that he trained day and night without rest. But there were still 2 important reasons. The first was because of the few days of military training. When he hugged Wang Xinyan to sleep, it gave Lin Yi a great opportunity. Those few nights were not an exaggeration for Lin Yi, it was many times faster than his usual training speed. Lin Yi didn't understand why Wang Xinyan's scent had such a huge effect on him, but it didn't matter as long as there were results. So Lin Yi really missed those few nights. It was just that after coming back, Lin Yi couldn't get too close to Wang Xinyan, let alone hug her. Especially since it was already late autumn and the weather was cold. Wang Xinyan wore more clothes, and so the scent of her body couldn't seep out. Although Lin Yi shared a table with her every day, he didn't get the benefits of that scent. But Lin Yi couldn't just let Wang Xinyan take off all her clothes and wear a set of home clothes to class, could he? Not only would it be cold, people would think that there was something wrong with Wang Xinyan if they saw it. The second reason was because when Su Shihan and Qing Yi were kidnapped, Lin Yi fought with the men in black, and he broke through his limits multiple times. It could be said that it was a common thing for Lin Yi on his path of leveling up. But this kind of opportunity was hard to come by. Naturally, there wouldn't be any limits when fighting with low-level masters, and if he fought with high-level masters, he couldn't go too high. That would be a one-sided beating, and how could he break through? After thinking about it, Lin Yi still felt that the first method was more reliable. But how was he going to talk to Wang Xinyan? Looking at Wang Xinyan sitting quietly beside him, reading a book, Lin Yi didn't know what to say. As he thought about it, Lin Yi got a little distracted. Wang Xinyan was reading, but there was no way she wouldn't feel Lin Yi looking at her like that. At first, Wang Xinyan thought that Lin Yi was just looking at her, so she didn't pay much attention. But after that, Lin Yi's eyes never left her, and it made her feel uncomfortable and embarrassed. Lin, what's up? Wang Xinyan didn't want to be direct. What were you looking at? So she changed her way of asking. Ah. Lin came back to his senses, a little embarrassed. I was thinking about something so I got distracted. But I do have something to ask you, W. What's up? Xinyan said, her mind drifting off at the explanation, but she was still a little embarrassed. There was no way she'd be able to calm down after being stared at by a guy for so long. And it was the kind of guy she had feelings for, the scent on your body. Lin Yi felt that this kind of question was a little intrusive, but it was something to do with Lin Yi's training, so Lin Yi had to ask. Chapter 2062. I smelled it a long time ago. Lin Yi said. We were so close during the training, how could I not have smelled it? Actually, Xinyan was starting to stutter, but she still managed to speak in a small voice. My body was really weak when I was young, and the doctors said that I wouldn't live past 5. My parents tried to find a doctor for me, but nothing came of it. When I was 2 years old, my parents brought me to the mountains to purchase medicinal ingredients. My father was in the business of medicinal ingredients. This time, we unexpectedly met an old man who was traveling around the world. When this old man saw my condition, he fed me something that was said to be a spiritual medicine of the heavens and earth. He said that it was a good karma, and that if we were fated, we would meet again in the future. From then on, my body became better, and my body also emitted a kind of fragrance. According to my parents, it was the smell of that spiritual medicine. Of course, this was what my parents told me. I was too young at that time, so I didn't have any memories. Xinyan didn't know why she was talking to Lin Yi so much, after all. She wasn't someone who liked to talk, but she still told Lin Yi some things about herself, just like that time on the plane, as if it was supposed to be like that. Good karma? Heaven and earth elixir? Lin Yi frowned. He didn't know what Xinyan was talking about, but he was sure that the old man wasn't a normal person. A master like him who traveled the world couldn't be judged with common sense. Yeah, I heard that the smell was on me from then on. Xinyan said. It smells good, Lin Yi said. And it seems like this smell can speed up my training. Is that so? Xinyan's face turned even redder as she lowered her head, unsure of how to respond to Lin Yi's words. Lin Yi was feeling quite awkward too. Lin Yi wouldn't have brought this up if Lin Yi didn't really need this smell to train. After all, it was a girl's private thing. It wasn't something they should talk about unless they were extremely close. So Lin Yi didn't know what to say when Xinyan lowered her head. Just as he was feeling awkward, Boss Bai walked into the classroom. The afternoon class had begun. Boss Bai's appearance helped Lin Yi and Xinyan out of the awkwardness, and the two opened their books in tacit understanding, preparing for class. But, after a while, Xinyan, who was sitting beside Lin Yi, started moving. She lightly unbuttoned her jacket and took off her jacket, folding it neatly and placing it on the innermost seat. That wasn't all. Xinyan started unbuttoning the top button of her shirt as well. In actuality, Xinyan had gone through a lot of mental struggle before she decided to do this. She didn't know why, but she felt a strong urge to help Lin Yi when he told her that her scent could help him with his training. She didn't know why, but she was too embarrassed to do so, and so hesitantly waited until now to take off her jacket. Xinyan's actions surprised Lin Yi a little. Xinyan was wearing quite a lot of clothes, but there was a faint scent coming from her. Lin Yi looked at Xinyan, too excited to speak. Xinyan, however, felt Lin Yi's gaze and blushed even more. I'm a little hot. The heater's switched on in the classroom now, and I'm wearing a little too much. Huh? Thank you. Lin Yi knew that Xinyan was just looking for an excuse. There was a heater in the classroom, but a coat wouldn't be too hot. Some people had taken off their coats, but Xinyan hadn't taken them off in the past few days, so it was obvious why she was doing this. What are you thanking me for? I don't understand. Hurry up and pay attention. Xinyan buried her head in the textbook in front of her, not looking at Lin Yi. Lin Yi sighed in his heart at the sight of Xinyan's shyness. He knew that the relationship between him and Xinyan was getting closer and closer. There wasn't anything yet, but if this went on, there would be some strange feelings. Even now, Lin Yi's impression of Wang Xinyan was a lot better than when they first met. It was just that all of this seemed to be a subtle, subtle change that happened without him even realizing it. Lin Yi didn't waste this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He started practicing the second stage of the art of dragon mastery as he listened to Boss Bai's lecture. Lin Yi didn't have to worry about any enemies in the classroom, and he didn't have to worry about anything. With the help of Xinyan's scent, Lin Yi's training speed could only be described as 1,000 miles in a day. The scent wasn't as thick as it was during the military training, but it was still more than twice as fast as Lin Yi's own training speed. Lin Yi was very satisfied with this speed. After all, this was a classroom. He couldn't ask Xinyan to take off all her clothes, could he? Or rather, he couldn't just go up and hug her, could he? Naturally, Lin Yi wouldn't waste such a good opportunity. He used every second he had to train. Although Lin Yi didn't know why, it was still a good thing. Lin Yi didn't think about anything else and focused on training. Xinyan herself didn't know why she'd taken off her coat, nor did she know why she'd unbuttoned her top button. Was she doing this on purpose to let him smell her scent? Did this count as seducing Lin Yi? Xinyan felt that her actions were a little shameless, but when she sneaked a glance at Lin Yi's serious face as he trained, she felt that she was thinking too much. Lin Yi had helped her so much, and she didn't have anything to repay him for. Now that there was a bit of scent that could help Lin Yi train, she'd let him absorb it. With that thought, Xinyan moved her body closer to Lin Yi so that her collar could get closer to Lin Yi's body, but this way, Xinyan's heart was in a mess. She didn't hear a single word that Boss Bai was saying on the podium. Her mind was filled with shyness and nervousness. She kept comforting herself, telling herself that she was only helping Lin Yi with his training, to repay him, nothing else. The afternoon passed in a blur. Xinyan was so dizzy that she didn't hear anything, but Lin Yi, on the other hand, had learned a lot. Chapter 2063. Lin Yi wasn't leaving, and so was Xinyan. She knew what Lin Yi was doing, and she was afraid that Lin Yi would lose his perfume if she moved, and so she kept her position close to Lin Yi, not daring to move at all. Lin Yi wasn't leaving, and so was Han Jingjing. The two had agreed that they'd walk together after school if there wasn't anything else. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi and Xinyan curiously, wondering what they were doing. However, Han Jingjing didn't ask anything. Instead, she took out her tablet and continued to calculate something on it. Lin Yi was in a practicing state, but he was aware of what was going on in the outside world. His consciousness was connected to the outside world, or else he wouldn't be able to practice and listen to class at the same time. Lin Yi knew that everyone had left, but Lin Yi didn't want to let go of the pleasure that came with training. Phew! Lin Yi exited his training mode and looked at Xinyan apologetically. He wanted to say something but didn't know what to say. All he could say was a single word. Thank you. You done with your training? Xinyan didn't know about the relationship between Han Jingjing and Lin Yi, so she kept her voice low when she asked. The classroom was very quiet right now, and she had to be extra careful when she spoke. Yeah, thanks for your hard work. Lin Yi nodded. It's nothing. Xinyan shook her head with a smile. I'll be going. Yeah, let's go together. Lin Yi said. But for now, put on your coat, it'll be cold outside. Yeah. Xinyan was a little embarrassed when Lin Yi lifted her coat. Han Jingjing, on the other hand, looked at Xinyan and Lin Yi curiously, not knowing what they were talking about. Big brother Lin Yi, what are you talking about with Xinyan? Something about training? Were you cultivating before? Han Jingjing asked curiously. Yes, I was cultivating just now. Lin Yi did not hide anything from Han Jingjing. Oh, but why are you thanking her? Han Jingjing nodded, but it was a little strange that Lin Yi was thanking Wang Xinyan. Actually, Xinyan is a little special. When she's by my side, she can help me cultivate. Since it involved Xinyan's privacy, Lin Yi didn't go into too much detail, leaving it vague. Naturally, Lin Yi wasn't guarded against Han Jingjing. After all, she knew some of Lin Yi's super secrets. Training beside Xinyan wasn't a big deal. Special? Help with cultivation? Han Jingjing, on the other hand, looked at Xinyan curiously, trying to figure out what was so strange about her. Xinyan, on the other hand, was quite embarrassed from Han Jingjing's stare. She didn't know what to do. Jingjing, don't look at Xinyan like that. You have me to help you level up, you don't need it. Lin Yi said. Oh. Han Jingjing was no longer curious after hearing Lin Yi's words. She nodded and didn't say anything else. Xin Yan, on the other hand, was a little curious after hearing the conversation between Lin Yi and Han Jingjing. Lin Yi didn't seem to be hiding things from Han Jingjing either. Was Han Jingjing and Lin Yi that close already? Xin Yan was curious, but she wasn't the curious type. She parted ways with Lin Yi after they left the biology building. Big brother Lin Yi, you and Xin Yan seem to be pretty close? Han Jingjing asked as they walked. Huh, we've known each other for a long time, we're pretty close. Lin Yi nodded. Oh, then are you two a couple? Han Jingjing asked. No, just a little better. Lin Yi said. That's good then. Looks like I still have a chance. Han Jingjing nodded happily. What chance? Lin Yi blinked at Han Jingjing's sudden leap in thought. Nothing, nothing. Han Jingjing shook her head. Ah, right Lin Yi bro, I can condense metal, wood, water, fire, and earth now, but the conversion between them isn't as smooth as before. There's still a bit of complexity in the conversion, so I'm working on simplifying it. With that, Han Jingjing waved the tablet in her hand. You've already condensed it? Lin Yi's eyes widened. He wasn't expecting Han Jingjing to be this skilled. Hadn't she done it in the morning? Otherwise, she would have told me in the morning. It seemed that she had only condensed it in one day. However, for Han Jingjing's genius, Lin Yi was already used to it. Lin Yi was almost numb now. He had to admit that Han Jingjing was probably the first alchemist to propose scientific alchemy. Of course, it wasn't enough to have a scientific alchemy brain. You must have a certain qualification. And this Han Jingjing was probably a genius with both qualifications and brains. Of course, in comparison, her qualifications might be a little worse. After all, Han Jingjing also said that his sensitivity to controlling the alchemy fire was a little worse, but he could make up for it with a formula. But this was enough. Yeah, but I can't convert it at will. There are still some obstacles, so Jingjing has to keep working hard and continue to simplify and optimize the conversion. Han Jingjing nodded and said, Okay, you work hard? Lin Yi nodded blankly. You can also try to refine some earth-level elixirs with those two cauldrons. The things that Right Coiling Tiger took out are definitely not trash. They should be good stuff. Han Jingjing nodded. The two came to the parking lot together. Meng Yao, Yu Shu, and Han Xiaoqiao were already waiting there. Today, Lin Yi was delayed in his practice, so he was a little late. Shield bro, why are you so slow today? Did your teacher delay the class? Yu Shu asked after seeing Lin. No, I was practicing before, so I was delayed. Lin Yi said. Get in the car, it's a little cold. Let's go back now. Back home, Lin Yi didn't say anything the whole night. On the other hand, Right Coiling Tiger immediately drove to the Hidden House U after school. The Hidden House U wasn't in Donghai, but in a small town between Donghai and Songshan. This was also the reason why Right Coiling Tiger took the college entrance examination in Songshan, because he was affiliated to a high school in Songshan. Chapter 2064. Good stuff. When Right Coiling Tiger heard Lin Yi's name, he gritted his teeth in anger. Uncle, I was tricked by Lin. Motherfucker, Lin Yi played with me. He tricked me with a street vendor's goods. Tricked you? What's going on? Right Jintian's face darkened and he frowned. Coiling Tiger, you're not young anymore. Even if you suffered a loss, you have to keep your composure. Don't curse every time you open your mouth. Tell me the details. Yes, big uncle. Right Coiling Tiger nodded and told his big uncle everything that had happened today. Right Coiling Tiger didn't dare to hide or exaggerate because he knew that although the yellow-haired and purple-haired men were his subordinates, they wouldn't hide anything in front of his uncle. If he spoke carelessly, his uncle would be even angrier when he found out the truth. If that's the case, you were careless? That Lin Yi clearly reminded you many times that our Hidden You family also has his stuff. Moreover, exchanging with you is cheating you. Did you insist on exchanging? Right Jintian asked. Uncle, although that's the case, you also know that Lin Yi is cunning. In that situation, anyone would think that he didn't want to exchange and said that to increase the value of the information in his hands. Who knew that it was really like that? Right Coiling Tiger said bitterly, this matter can't be completely blamed on me. It can't be completely blamed on you. Right? Shentian waved his hand. However, as the saying goes, learn from your mistakes. In the future, you have to be more wary of that, Lin. Although the first grade and second grade cauldrons are expensive, our Hidden You family can afford to lose them. Let's forget about this matter. Yes. Right, Coiling Tiger said that, but he didn't agree with it in his heart. Let's forget about it? With Right Shentian's strong personality, if it was someone else who cheated them of the Hidden You family stuff, how could he just let it go? But in the face of Lin Yi, how could he not let it go? Not only had Right 13 been eliminated, but the Hidden Zhao family's Earth-class late-phase master had also been killed by Lin. If they wanted to fight against Lin Yi, they would have to send out a Sky-class master. However, it was obviously not worth it to offend the Heavenly Elixir sect by sending a Heaven Stage expert for Lin. The Heavenly Elixir sect didn't dare to casually send a Heaven Stage expert to the secular world for the sake of balance. How could the Hidden You family dare to do so? Oh right, the Hidden House Summit is about to be held. Your strength has also broken through to the early phase of the Mystic class. You should have 100% confidence in concocting a level 1 pill, right? Yu Zhentian changed the topic and looked at you, Coiling Tiger. There should be no problem. Right, Coiling Tiger nodded and said, however, after I consume 2 spirit gathering pills and raise my strength again, I should be more confident. And when the time comes, there will be a competition for pill concocting. At that time, our Yu family might send you as the representative. After all, only your age is suitable. Yu Zhentian said, when the time comes, as long as you can concoct a level 1 pill, it will be your victory. After all, the other hidden houses don't have any alchemists participating. Those alchemists are all over 25 years old, which is outside of the competition rules. Okay. Right, Coiling Tiger quickly nodded. Don't worry, uncle. If that's the case, then victory will definitely be mine. Okay, if that's the case, you can go back. Yu Zhentian said, you've lost this time. Next time, watch carefully before you make the same mistake. Yes, uncle. Right, Coiling Tiger let out a sigh of relief and turned to leave. Right Zhentian really didn't have the mood to reprimand Right Coiling Tiger. All his thoughts were on the Hidden House Summit. To put it bluntly, this Hidden House Summit was actually an alliance of a few hidden houses to scam the Hidden House of Han. All the competitions were basically designed for each hidden house, and each hidden house had a competition that they were good at. For example, House Zhao was good at racing, and House Yu was good at concocting pills. This way, each hidden house would be able to obtain a treasure from the Hidden House of Han in the end. This was also why Yu Zhentian didn't have the mood to reprimand Right Coiling Tiger. Another reason was that even if he reprimanded Right Coiling Tiger, what use would it be? Wasn't he, Yu Zhentian, still unable to do anything to Lin Yi? For a troublemaker like Lin Yi, unless they sent a Sky-class master to kill him, but if the ancient sects didn't agree, who would dare to send Sky-class masters outside? It had been a few months since the college entrance exams, but Zhong Pingliang still hadn't reported to school. It wasn't that he didn't want to go, but he hadn't thought of how to face Lin Yi and Meng Yao. Zhong Pingliang hated Lin Yi to the bone, but what was the use of hating him? Lin Yi was getting stronger and stronger, and even Zhang Naipeo wasn't his match. Even if Zhong Pingliang wanted to go against Lin Yi, he didn't have the strength and courage to do so. With Zhong Pingliang's college entrance exam results, he wouldn't even be able to get into a third-rate university, and it was the same for his follower, Gao Xiaofu. However, Zhong Fabai was rich. He gave Zhong Pingliang and Gao Xiaofu a huge sponsorship fee, and so the two became self-funded students of Donghai Industry University's joint college. The so-called joint college was a private university jointly run by a company and a university. Although the class location was the same as a regular university, the graduation certificate was different. The graduation certificate would have the name of the joint college written on it. Of course, for a rich kid like Zhong Pingliang, who didn't care about his graduation certificate, it didn't matter what was written on it. The school had lower requirements for self-funded students like this, and it didn't matter if they participated in military training or not. After all, most of the students here were just trying to get a degree, and they would all go to their family's business after graduation. Zhong Pingliang and Gao Xiaofu didn't report to school, not because they were lazy, but because they didn't want to. They didn't want to have to lower their heads, and so before they reported to school, he brought Gao Xiaofu to Zhang Naipeo's training ground, the Everyday and Everyday sect. This time, the two met with Naipeo without a hitch. At this moment, Naipeo's entire demeanor had changed. The arrogance from before were gone, replaced with a sense of confidence and calmness. However, the pride in his bones was still there. Liang bro. But no matter what, Zhang Naipeo's loyalty to Zhong Pingliang hadn't changed at all. Zhong Pingliang was just a normal person, but Naipeo didn't put on any airs in front of him at all. He cupped his fist respectfully like a little brother. Chapter 2065. Plus, he'd gotten smarter and more reserved after all these setbacks. He knew that his strength wasn't on the same level as Naipeo's, and he didn't want to put on airs and make Naipeo hate him. That way, they wouldn't be able to maintain their boss and follower relationship. Liang bro, you know what kind of person I am? Naipeo said. You're talking to me like that because you're afraid of me, and you're not treating me like a follower anymore. Liang bro, you're the savior of my family, and it's all because of Heibao bro's recommendation that I came to this Everyday and Everyday sect. It's all thanks to you, Liang bro. I, Naipeo, used to be your follower, and I'm still your follower. In this life, I only have one enemy, and that's Lin Yi. I have you as my boss, and I have a master, and that's the Everyday and Everyday sect. Naipeo's words were passionate, without a hint of pretense or falsehood. Pin Liang was very touched. Good, Pao, you're my good brother. Liang bro, I only have one goal in coming here, to deal with Lin Yi. Not only is he Liang bro's enemy, he's my enemy as well. You don't have to do this, Liang bro. Naipeo said. It's just that I haven't completed the second stage yet, so I can't leave the mountain yet. But if there's a chance, I'll make sure to cripple that Lin Yi and bring him to you, Liang bro, so that you can take care of Lin Yi. All right. Pin Liang nodded excitedly. Pao, what's your strength now? I'm an Earth class mid-phase now. With that, Naipeo's eyes flashed with unwillingness. According to the news I received, Lin Yi can even kill an Earth class late phase so effortlessly. It seems like I won't be able to take on Lin Yi without reaching the second stage of his arts. What? Lin Yi's that strong? He can even kill an Earth class late phase? Pin Liang was shocked. Didn't they say that Lin Yi was a mystic late phase peak? When did he break through? I'm not sure either. Naipeo shook his head. My information sources are limited as well. After all, our Everyday and Everyday sect can't keep an eye on Lin Yi all the time. This guy is really lucky. How did he improve so quickly? Pin Liang recalled Lin Yi's progress and felt a little discouraged. Looks like we're still being left behind by him. Don't worry, once I master the second stage, even if that Lin Yi is an Earth class late phase peak, as long as he's not a Sky class, I'll be able to beat him. Naipeo said confidently. What's the saying? The first to get fat isn't considered fat. Wait for me to catch up. Oh, Pao, do you have a trump card? Pin Liang was overjoyed. Of course I have my trump cards. Naipeo grinned. But Liang bro, forgive me for keeping you in suspense. I'm restricted by my sect, and I can't say anything before I master the art. It's fine. I wouldn't understand even if you told me. As long as I can beat that Lin Yi, it's fine. Pin Liang said, the rest doesn't matter. It's great that you understand, Liang bro. Naipeo nodded. Liang bro, as long as we tolerate that Lin Yi for now, I'll deal with him in the future. Let him be happy for a while. Man, Pao, you don't know this, but I actually have something to ask of you this time. Pin Liang sighed. As much as I've been tolerating him, I didn't think that I'd end up in the same university as Lin Yi. I heard that he's in that university, and I didn't even dare bring Fu there, afraid that Lin Yi would bully us. You're in the same university as Lin Yi? Naipeo said, surprised. If that's the case, then there's going to be some conflict. Yeah, that's why I'm here to discuss this with you, Pao, and see if there's any way to protect me from that Lin Yi. Pin Liang said, I'm your boss after all, and you're a core disciple of the Everyday and Everyday sect now. If I get bullied, wouldn't you lose face as well? That's true. Naipeo nodded. How about this? I'll talk to my master and see if he can take you in as an outer disciple and give you a good treasure. We don't need to bully people, but we need to have the ability to protect ourselves. Pao, you're too good to my boss. Pinliang didn't think that Nai Pao would be this easygoing, asking his master for a treasure. Pinliang had been thinking of using his relationship with Nai Pao to get him an outer disciple or a contact person for the everyday sect in the common world. That way, he wouldn't be able to suppress Lin Yi, but at least he'd be able to show off in school when Lin Yi wasn't around. As long as he didn't get into a direct conflict with Lin Yi, university life would be quite enjoyable. If he had to suppress himself for 4 years, it'd be worse than death. The last part of his 12th year in high school was already quite stressful for Pinliang, and he'd finally gotten into university. He'd wanted to be known as the big boss or young bully of the school, but he'd have to face off against Lin Yi again. But, among all the schools in Donghai, only Donghai Industry University had a school that accepted students who paid for their own students. The other schools didn't have this system, and Pinliang had no other choice. Plus, he'd already paid up, and it would be hard for him to go to another school. Even if Fabai had some power in Songshan, he didn't have much in Donghai. He was only able to get into this school by paying for his own students. He didn't have the ability to transfer to another school. Liang bro, I've been with you for so long, how could I not know what you're thinking? Nai Pao smiled. This treasure is something that Master promised to give to me back then, but once I master the second stage, I won't need it anymore, so I asked Master to give it to you. It's a golden cicada undergarment, and when you wear it, it can block attacks from anything below Sky Class. In other words, no one under Sky Class can hurt you. Really? That strong? Pinliang's eyes widened as he looked at Nai Pao in disbelief. Chapter 2066. Nai Pao's words were very clear. How could he not know what kind of person Pinliang was? Pinliang's goal in coming here was to borrow Nai Pao's strength, to make himself more successful in the university. Since Pinliang wanted to be the school's boss, why wouldn't Nai Pao let him have it? From this, one could see that Nai Pao treated Pinliang with sincerity and wasn't the type to forget his roots. After all, the golden cicada undergarment was one of the treasures of the everyday sect. Although the master had agreed to give it to Nai Pao, it was only because he was a core disciple of the everyday sect. Otherwise, there was no way he'd give something like this away so easily. But it wasn't easy for Nai Pao to give this to Pinliang. Of course, it was also because his position in the everyday sect was getting higher and higher that he made this promise. He was now the next leader of the everyday sect, a role model for all the young disciples. But even so, convincing the master to give this treasure to an outsider was still a little difficult. Thank you, Pao. Pinliang said quickly. Okay, Liang bro, wait here for me, I'll go ask the master. With that, Nai Pao walked out of the room. After about the time it took to brew a pot of tea, Nai Pao came back, but not by himself this time. He came with a stern-looking middle-aged man. This man was Nai Pao's master, the current leader of the everyday sect. Nai Pao had somehow managed to convince the master of the everyday sect to give the golden cicada undergarment to Pinliang. Liang bro, this is my Shifu, the current head of the everyday sect, Pure Yang Sky Master. He's also the elder's last disciple. Nai Pao introduced the man to Pinliang. Disciple Zhong Pingliang greets master. Zhong Pingliang wasn't stupid. He knelt on the ground and bowed respectfully when he heard the man's identity. Get up, since you're the boss of the common world, there's no need to be so polite. The master said faintly with a wave of his hand. Thank you, master. Pinliang quickly stood up and stood aside respectfully. This golden cicada undergarment was originally the sect treasure of my everyday sect, but I've already promised to give it to Nai Pao. Now that Nai Pao wants to give it to you, it's clear that you have an extraordinary position in Nai Pao's heart. The sect master said, therefore, for the sake of Nai Pao's face, I will accept you as an in-name disciple. Like this, you will have the title of Heavenly Venerate Pure Yang's disciple outside. I don't think those ordinary powers will dare to have any ideas about you. You have to know that an ordinary man's wealth is his own ruin. Your disciple understands. Master, please accept a bow from your disciple. Zhong Pingliang was overjoyed and quickly bowed to his master. How could he not know that if he didn't have any backing and suddenly took out a good treasure, let alone those hidden houses, even a normal practitioner house would covet it? Now that he had the title of Heavenly Venerate Pure Yang's in-name disciple, anyone who dared to steal his treasure would be going against the everyday and everyday sect. That would be a huge crime. Normal houses wouldn't dare, hidden houses wouldn't dare, and ancient sects, even if they knew about this treasure, wouldn't dare to do anything to Zhong Pingliang because of their pride. Unless they met the archenemy of the everyday and everyday sect. But the archenemy of the everyday and everyday sect, other than Lin, didn't have any. In the ancient world, if one wanted to become an enemy of the everyday and everyday sect, they would have to weigh their own strength first. Very well, said the sect leader. I'll bestow this golden cicada undergarment to you. In a moment, I'll give you a command medallion. It's a keepsake for being a disciple of the everyday and everyday sect. If anyone comes looking for trouble, you can show them your keepsake. Yes, your disciple understands. Zhong Pingliang quickly replied. Since you're here, you can stay here for a few days. Nai Peo, cultivation requires a balance between work and rest. You can stay with Pinliang these few days, the sect master said with a wave of his hand. Since he had taken Zhong Pinliang in as an in-name disciple, he would naturally call him Pinliang. Bring him around our everyday and everyday sect. Yes, sect master. Nai Peo said. These few days, Han Jingjing had been studying elixir refinement and elixir refinement. During the day, she would write and draw on her tablet, and at night, she would practice elixir refinement until midnight before going to bed. As a result, she would wake up with either rabbit eyes or panda eyes. Han Jingjing's hard work made Lin Yi very emotional as well. It seemed like her obsession with elixir refinement wasn't normal at all. These few days, the first thing Xinyan did when she saw Lin Yi in the classroom was to take off her jacket, unbutton her shirt, or put on a shirt with a wide collar. What surprised Lin Yi was that Xinyan didn't even seem to be wearing a bra. This made Lin Yi feel a little guilty. Lin Yi wanted to remind her a few times that not wearing a bra might affect the beauty of her chest, but he was too embarrassed to bring it up. At the end of the day, Xinyan was doing this so that her body fragrance could spread out more for Lin Yi's training. And so Lin Yi was grateful and helpless at the same time. He didn't want Xinyan to be affected because of him. You can wear a bra. Lin Yi couldn't help but remind her. It's already good enough, you don't have to do it anymore. I didn't. Xinyan blushed. It's just that the bra size was a little too small. I didn't buy a new one. Of course, Wang Xinyan wouldn't admit what she was trying to achieve by doing this. I know. Lin Yi said that, but he didn't know what he knew. The next day, however, Xinyan went back to wearing a bra, but under the jacket was a loose t-shirt. Perhaps this would allow the scent of her body to spread out better. Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganhe, on the other hand, had temporarily disappeared. Bai Weiduo went to ask around, but it wasn't that the two had stopped, but that they were in the hospital after being bitten by a lion. It was a bite, after all, and the two didn't really want to go to class. They had an excuse to skip school and rest for a few days, so why not? Chapter 2067. Every day after class, Coiling Tiger would leave the classroom with his two subordinates. In fact, it wasn't that Coiling Tiger wanted to let Lin Yi go, but he really didn't have any good ideas to deal with Lin Yi. He wanted to mess with Lin Yi, but he didn't have any good ideas, and he didn't have any good opportunities. Plus, he was busy concocting pills after school, trying to win the Hidden House Summit. Naturally, he didn't have time to deal with Lin Yi. During this period, Lin Yi was worried about Su Shihan. He gave her a call and asked if she met any criminals after she went back, but Su Shihan said that she was safe, and there were no suspicious people who attacked her. This made Lin Yi relax. In the blink of an eye, it was the 13th of this month, 2 days before the Hidden House Summit. The rules of the competition had been sent to all the hidden houses, and Lin Yi met Han Xiaopa as promised. This time, Han Xiaopa called after school. Lin Yi had already told Meng Yao, Yu Shu, and Han Jingjing about the Hidden House Summit, and that he might be away for a few days. For safety reasons, Lin Yi let them stay in the school dorm, not letting them go to school alone. Although, from the current situation, Lin Yi's enemies had basically all stopped. At least they didn't have any plans to deal with Lin Yi in the near future, so the miss and the others shouldn't be in danger, but staying in the school was safer. Boss. Han Xiaopa saw Lin Yi and waved at Lin Yi impatiently. He had been waiting for a long time in the parking lot of the school. You came? Lin Yi nodded and said, Where are we going now? Boss, if you don't have anything to do, stay at my house tonight. Tomorrow is the registration day for the Hidden House Summit, and the competition will officially start the day after tomorrow. We need to study the rules of the competition in advance. Han Xiaopa said. Are you worried about your strength? Lin Yi smiled faintly as he glanced at Han Xiaopa. Actually, it would be a lie to say that I'm not worried. After all, there are less than 2 days left, and I'm so weak. If I really participate in the duos match, I'll definitely be a burden. Han Xiaopa didn't pretend to be fake as he spoke the truth. 2 days, that's enough. Lin Yi said casually. This. Han Xiaopa was slightly taken aback. He did not understand how Lin Yi could improve his strength in 2 days, but since he had already recognized Lin Yi as his boss, he should trust Lin. Hence, he said, I'll listen to you, boss. Let's go. We'll go to your Hidden Han family first, Lin Yi said. Okay, boss, please get in the car. Han Xiaopa was still driving the Mercedes-Benz S600. He respectfully opened the door and let Lin Yi in. Then, he sat in the driver's seat and started the car. As he drove, he said, Boss, the ingredients for the Qi gathering pill have already been prepared. When you arrive at the Hidden Han family, you'll have it with both hands. That's not urgent. Lin Yi actually didn't want to steal the Hidden Han family's treasure. It was just that Han Xiaopa was a little too impatient and wanted to prove his intentions, so he took out such a good thing. But since this thing was useful to Lin Yi, there was no reason for Lin Yi to reject it. The Hidden Han family's location was not in the city of Donghai City, but in the suburbs of Donghai City. At the edge of a small town in the suburbs of Donghai City, there was a very large manor. There was no sign or house number, but it had a very high wall. If one came here for the first time, they might even think that this was the location of a prison. In fact, this was also the first impression that this place gave to Lin Yi. The appearance of this manor was not eye-catching, and it was very low-key. Not many people would notice it, but this was the location of the Hidden Han family. This was Lin Yi's first time visiting a hidden family, so he was a little curious about the buildings here. So this was the so-called hidden family. It really was a family hidden in the city. However, in Lin Yi's memory, he had been to a hidden family once before, but he had no memory of the specific location. Could it be a dream? Han Xiaopa's car stopped at an inconspicuous entrance of this manor. Although this entrance was inconspicuous, a normal car would definitely not open the door so easily. It was probably because they saw Han Xiaopa's car through the security camera, so the manor's gate opened automatically. The security here is quite strict. This gate's design is not simple. Lin Yi said as he looked at the gate of the manor. With Lin Yi's experience and eyesight, not only could he see that the design of this gate was a little special, it should be anti-theft and anti-intrusion. Boss, you know these things too? Han Xiaopa was a little surprised. The gate of the Hidden Han family was indeed designed by a professional security designer. It had anti-theft and anti-intrusion functions, and it could send out a warning signal if someone broke in or tried to pry open the door. It could also release a high voltage in an instant. Even a normal cultivator would not be able to withstand this high voltage. Unless it was someone who had a body that was impervious to weapons, water, and fire, such as the Golden Bell Shield and the Iron Shirt, they would be able to avoid this kind of injury. Therefore, this kind of security was not said to be lax. I know a thing or two, Lin Yi said calmly. Although this gate looked relatively safe, Lin Yi had a way to deal with it, but Lin Yi did not say it out loud. He, boss is really knowledgeable and multi-talented. Han Xiaopa was sincerely impressed. It's already very impressive for a normal cultivator to be able to cultivate wholeheartedly and have some achievements in the path of cultivation. But boss, not only do you know alchemy, you also know how to race, and you also know these security measures. It's really admirable, especially when your strength is not ordinary. After the car entered the gate, it did not take long before it came to a guard booth. This was where the hidden Han family's gate guards were located. Although the Mercedes-Benz license plate belonged to the hidden Han family, it could only pass the first level. For the second level, it still needed to be checked manually. Young Master Pa. However, after the gate guards walked over and saw that the person driving was Han Xiaopa, they immediately did not stop him. After greeting him respectfully, they opened the railing and let the car smoothly enter the hidden Han family's manor. It seems that your position in the hidden Han family is quite high. Lin Yi asked when he saw the gate guard's reaction. Chapter 2068. Since he had recognized Lin Yi as his boss, sometimes he had to show off his abilities and let Lin Yi know how capable he was. Outstanding descendants are the middle phase of the golden class. Lin Yi sighed. This hidden house Han really wasn't good enough. They had no foundation and only became a hidden house after unearthing an ancient ruin. No wonder so many hidden houses coveted them. In the end, they were just too weak. The descendants of the other hidden houses were all mystic or even earth class. Their golden class was already outstanding. They really couldn't compare. There's no other way. Han Xiaopa smiled bitterly. Our family doesn't have any teachers to guide us. Almost everyone in our family got their strength through taking pills and treasures. We didn't train ourselves. It's the same for my father's generation, and it's even more so for our generation. Although we also train because we fumble around on our own, we always take the wrong path. Lin Yi looked at Han Xiaopa beside him, feeling like they were in the same boat. The hidden house Han had good pills and treasures, but they didn't have a master to guide them, and they were already in this state. He didn't have any pills or treasures, nor did he have a master to guide him. This was the difference between them. Fortunately, he had a good mental cultivation method and the determination to work hard. That was why he was able to keep up with the disciples of the hidden families and ancient sections. Otherwise, he would have been left behind thousands of miles away. Since there are pills, why didn't your father's generation and your generation just take them and level up to the earth class like your grandfather? Linist. Grandfather is the head of the house, and the ancient ruin was discovered by him. Naturally, he has the priority to take the pills. Han Xiaopa explained. The family's pills are all given to grandfather first. But above the earth class, these pills aren't very useful, except for the qi gathering pill. But they're just ingredients and can't be refined. What about the others? Did your grandfather eat them all? Lin Yi nodded. The others naturally have some as well. Actually, in the ancient ruins that we've discovered, there are a lot of spirit-gathering pills. However, even if there are a lot of them, we can't afford to use them like this. Han Xiaopa said, depending on your talent, a normal person would need around 10 soul-gathering pills to reach the peak of the late phase of the golden class. If you want to break through to the mystic class, you'll need 20 soul-gathering pills or 1 soul-gathering pill. So, there isn't enough? After listening to Han Xiaopa's explanation, Lin Yi understood a little. The spirit-gathering pill was a yellow class level 1 pill, and a yellow class level 1 pill refiner could refine it. However, the spirit-gathering pill was a yellow class level 2 pill refiner, and only a yellow class level 2 pill refiner could refine it. Moreover, the success rate was much lower than the spirit-gathering pill, and the ingredients were much more precious. Therefore, the value of 20 spirit-gathering pills added together was not as much as 1 spirit-gathering pill. There were many hidden families with first-grade alchemists who wanted to use 20 or more spirit-gathering pills to exchange for a single spirit-gathering pill, but they had nowhere to go. Yeah, even if there's a lot, we can't afford to eat like this. My current strength is the result of eating 3 spirit-gathering pills, and that's considered a good talent. For those with poor talent, 3 spirit-gathering pills can only make them into the early phase of the golden class. Han Xiaopa said, there are so many people in the family, and my parents spent a lot of spirit-gathering pills to become mystic, so there's not much left for the 3rd generation. Although it's enough for us juniors to enter the mystic class, it's too wasteful. Let's not talk about the future, but we have to think about the future generations. Can mystic go from the earth class to the mystic class through pills as well? Lin Yi asked. Yes, a master at the peak of the late phase of the mystic class can enter the earth class with 20 soul-gathering pills or 1 small chi-gathering pill. Han Xiaopa said, Grandpa used a small chi-gathering pill to become an earth class, but his strength hasn't improved much these years. Does your family have more of these pills? Lin Yi wanted to cry after hearing Han Xiaopa's explanation. One could become an earth class just by eating pills? The disciples of the ancient sects and hidden houses had too much of an advantage, didn't they? Of course, lesser chi-gathering pills were not common anymore, unless it was the heavenly elixir sect, which could be said to have them whenever they wanted, or those who were on good terms with the heavenly elixir sect could get their hands on a few. Other hidden families, or even ancient sects and ancient families, would have to pay a certain price to get their hands on one. This was enough to show how precious lesser chi-gathering pills were. There's 2 more. Han Xiaopa only hesitated for a moment before telling the truth. Boss, you want them? I can ask Grandpa for you. I don't want them. Lin Yi smiled at Han Xiaopa's words. They're for you to use. At this moment, Lin Yi completely acknowledged Han Xiaopa as a person. This kid treated him pretty well, and he didn't have any ulterior motives. If he was secretive, Lin Yi would have to reconsider his attitude towards him. But Han Xiaopa was willing to spill all of his family's secrets without holding back. It was enough to show his loyalty. Otherwise, if he didn't really want to be Lin Yi's follower, and these secrets were leaked, it would be enough to make their hidden house get destroyed even faster. Me? Han Xiaopa paused. With my current strength, even if I eat a small chi-gathering pill, I can at most jump to the peak of the late phase of the golden class. It's a waste. Hee, you'll know when the time comes. Lin Yi didn't explain for now, but he sighed inwardly. If he'd known this Han Xiaopa earlier, why would he have eaten a chi-gathering pill? It was a waste of heavenly gifts. A small chi-gathering pill was enough. When he leveled up to the earth class, wouldn't eating a chi-gathering pill increase his strength even more? But now, the situation was reversed. Eating a chi-gathering pill first, and then a small chi-gathering pill. It was completely useless. But then again, if Lin Yi wasn't an earth class and was still stuck at the mystic class, the hidden house of Han wouldn't have come looking for him. In fact, he would have died in the previous few confrontations. So Lin Yi only sighed and didn't regret it too much. Since Lin Yi didn't want to talk about it in detail, Han Xiaopa naturally didn't ask. He knew that when the time came, Lin Yi would say it. Chapter 2069. Han Tianba, on the other hand, had already received the news from the guards at the entrance. He was already waiting at the entrance of the meeting hall with a group of descendants. Han Tianba didn't dare to be careless with Lin. Lin Yi was an existence that could easily kill an Earth-class late-phase master. It would be a piece of cake for him to destroy the entire hidden Han family. Han Tianba, on the other hand, was only an Earth-class early-phase peak. Han Xiaopa also saw his grandfather's group welcoming Lin Yi from afar. He paused for a moment, but quickly understood his grandfather's intentions. The hidden Han family was going to make a big bet this time. Since they were going to give away the ingredients for the chi-gathering pill, then they would tie the entire Han family's profits to Lin Yi's. Although Lin Yi had many enemies, no matter what, with Lin Yi's strong presence, the hidden Han family situation would be much better than before. Lin Yi had many enemies, but how many would actually dare to touch Lin Yi? The hidden Han family had become Lin Yi's men. If anyone wanted to touch the hidden Han family, they would have to ask Lin Yi's permission first. Seeing that the hidden Han family had such a big lineup, Lin Yi was a little surprised. He got off the car with Han Xiaopa, and Han Tianba walked over. Mr. Lin, your presence brings light to my humble home. Han Tianba smiled and cupped his fist at Lin. Don't be so polite, Mr. Han. Since Xiaopa is my little brother, then he and I are of the same generation. It's not wrong for me to call you Grandpa Han. Lin said, on the path of martial arts, it's all about the strong. We're not related by blood, so this seniority is only based on strength, not age. Han Tianba waved his hand dismissively. Mr. Lin, you can easily kill a late-phase Earth-class master, and I'm just a peak early-phase Earth-class master. It's not wrong for me to call Mr. Lin senior brother, or senior brother. You're being too polite. All right, it's up to you. I'll still call you Elder Han. Lin Yi did not force it. This was the rule of the cultivators. Lin Yi and Han Tianba were not related by blood, so it was not wrong to judge their seniority based on their strength. Mr. Lin, I've already prepared a banquet in the meeting hall. I'm just waiting for Mr. Lin to take a seat. Han Tianba smiled and made an inviting gesture. Xiaope, bring Mr. Lin to his table. Yes, Grandpa. Han Xiaope's heart was extremely pleased at the moment. His grandfather's attitude couldn't be clearer, and he was Lin Yi's little brother. His status in the Han family was self-evident. Seeing Han Xiaochun's envious, jealous, and hateful gaze, Han Xiaope knew that he must be regretting missing out on a good opportunity to interact with Lin. Lin Yi followed Han Xiaope into the meeting hall and saw that the banquet was already prepared. The cold dishes were already prepared, but the hot dishes had not yet been served. It was obvious that the dishes would only be served after Lin Yi and the others were seated. Lin Yi sat down. Only then did Han Tianba and the rest of the family take their seats. Han Xiaope sat on Lin Yi's left, and Han Tianba sat on Lin Yi's right. It was enough to show that Han Xiaope's current status was extraordinary. Mr. Lin, welcome. Before the banquet begins, would you like to give the hidden Han family a lecture? Han Tianba asked respectfully after he took his seat. Lecture? Lin Yi smiled bitterly and shook his head. I'm not their elder or master. There's no need to lecture them. Besides, I'm not that difficult to talk to. Since they're all Xiaope's family, then do as you please. All right, since Mr. Lin says, then let's do as you please. Let's begin. Han Tianba waved at the disciples on the side, signaling them to start serving the dishes. The ingredients for the dishes were all prepared, and under Han Tianba's command, the chefs started working. Very soon, the dishes were on the table. Although Han Tianba said that they could do as they please, no one dared to touch their chopsticks before Lin. They only dared to eat after Lin Yi had a taste of each dish. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was really starving. He didn't hold back. He had to eat every day when he came back to the villa, so he just started eating. But every time he ate, Lin Yi would think of Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao shouldn't be lacking food in the Ice Palace now, right? Mr. Lin, on behalf of Hidden House Han, I propose a toast to you. Han Tianba raised his glass when he saw that Lin Yi was almost done eating. As for Lin Yi eating like a tornado, no one dared to say anything. This was the difference between strong and strong. People could only say that Lin Yi was generous when he saw Lin Yi like this. But if it was someone weaker, that person wouldn't know the rules. All right, Lin Yi replied faintly and raised his glass as well. As for Han Xiaope, he poured himself a glass of wine and stood up as well. Mr. Lin, the fate of our hidden family lies in your hands during this hidden family summit. Han Tianba said. Xiaope promised that you'll represent Hidden House Han in the competition, and no matter how much you win, it'll all be yours to use, including House Han's. Plus, after you win, you can choose some things you need from Hidden House Han's treasury. Han Tianba understood that he'd rather give all of these things to Lin. Even if it was a bit more, it was better than giving it to the other hidden houses. If he gave it to Lin Yi would be able to protect them, but if he gave it to the other hidden houses, they'd only get greedier. With this sweet taste, there'd be all sorts of competitions, tests, summits, and social gatherings in the future. There would only be one goal, and that was to squeeze all the treasures from the ancient ruins dry. That way, not only would Hidden House Han be tired of dealing with the hidden houses, but their position among the hidden houses would also become weaker and weaker. They'd be bullied and bullied. Not only would they lose their position, but they'd also lose all their treasures. It'd be extremely difficult for them to make a comeback. But things were different if they gave the treasures to Lin Yi. With Lin Yi's reputation, the hidden houses wouldn't dare to do anything forceful. Even if Lin Yi only won the race, it didn't matter, because Hidden House Han had announced to the world that they were Lin Yi's men. After this, if they wanted to scam him again, they'd have to see if Lin Yi agreed to it. Chapter 2070. All right, I'll look into the rules and events after dinner to see which ones to participate in. Lin Yi nodded. Thank you, Mr. Lin. Han Tianba said. After dinner, Lin Yi didn't talk much with Han Tianba. Instead, he asked Han Xiaope to bring him to a place to rest and study the rules of the Hidden House Summit. Boss, are you satisfied with the environment here? Han Xiaopa asked carefully as he brought Lin Yi to the guest room. Hee, I'm not too particular about where I live. This place is good enough. From Lin Yi's point of view, this place was even better than his own villa. This must be a guest room that the hidden house of Han would only use when they received their guests. Also, you don't have to be so careful in front of me. Since you're my follower, you should be more easygoing. I'll introduce you to my other followers in the future. Okay, boss. Han Xiaopa nodded, but he probably wouldn't be able to let it go so easily. Alright, let's talk about the Hidden House Summit first. What are the events? Lin Yi asked. Boss. I'll tell you about the competition now. As Han Xiaopa spoke, he took out a document and said, "These are the rules and regulations jointly issued by the elder families of the Hidden House Summit." Elder families? Lin Yi snorted coldly. Setting up events that are beneficial to them? You could say that, but they wouldn't dare to go too far. It's just that our Hidden House of Han is too weak. The events they choose don't have an absolute advantage. Han Xiaopa said with a bitter smile. Lin Yi nodded. Han Xiaopa's words made sense, but the problem was that the Hidden House Hans really didn't have the strength to compete with the other hidden houses. Even if they were against you, you had to be strong in some way, as long as you weren't too weak. This racing competition is definitely going to happen. The rules of the Hidden House Summit also mention this competition. The car for the competition has already been confirmed. It is indeed the Jetta that I heard about, Han Xiaopa said. Okay, any car is the same, Lin Yi said calmly. As long as everyone is using the same car, I have confidence in winning. Great. After Han Xiaopa heard Lin Yi's promise, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. Lin Yi hadn't given him an exact promise before, so Han Xiaopa wasn't sure if Lin Yi could win. Until now, when Lin Yi told him in a very certain tone that he could win, he would definitely win. What about the others? Lin Yi asked. There are also martial arts competitions, individual endurance competitions, individual fighting competitions, hidden weapon dodging competitions, individual arena competitions, duo arena competitions, alchemy competitions, poison identification competitions, and so on. Han Xiaopa said. But the details of the competitions haven't been released yet. At present, we only know these names. Lin Yi nodded. Although the details of these competitions were not out yet, he could basically understand the content of these competitions from the words. These hidden houses didn't deliberately target the Hidden House Han. It was just that the Hidden House Han really couldn't do it. There wasn't a single expert in these competitions. If he didn't participate, the final result would probably be a complete loss. These competitions, do we still have to place bets even if we don't participate? Linist. Of course we have to place bets, Han Xiaopa said. These are the rules of the competition. Even if we forfeit, we still have to place bets. Seems like they are really targeting you guys. Lin Yi said. These competitions, when the details are out, I will look into it. If possible, I will register for a few more. But now it seems like we have a chance of winning the individual arena competition. Lin Yi didn't go too far with his words. He might be able to win the other matches, but he wasn't sure if he'd have an advantage in any of them before the details were out. Still, he could give the single arena a try. If there weren't too strong of an opponent, winning shouldn't be too much of a problem. Great. Boss, you are awesome. Han Xiaopa slapped his thigh and shouted excitedly. This way, our Hidden House Han has a chance of winning 2 competitions. This way, we won't lose too much in this Hidden House Summit. At the very least, when others try to scheme against us in the future, they will have to think about whether or not it'll be a thankless effort. Han Xiaopa was right. If this competition was specifically targeted at the hidden family of Han, then every hidden family would choose a competition that they had an advantage in. However, if the hidden family of Han won 2 rounds in a row, then 2 hidden families would be at a disadvantage. Then, the next time they schemed against the Hidden House Han, these 2 hidden houses wouldn't be so proactive. When that time came, they probably wouldn't participate. Didn't you want to be the champion of the duo arena competition? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Yeah, but my strength. Han Xiaopa thought about his own strength and shook his head. There's only 1 day left. The Hidden House Summit is the day after tomorrow. No matter how hard I try, I can't be on par with boss. Go get that little chi-gathering pill, Lin Yi said. But Han Xiaopa froze when he heard Lin Yi's non-committal question. Lin Yi nodded. But although Han Xiaopa was a little suspicious as to why Lin Yi wanted him to get the pill now, he still stood up and left the room. After walking for a while, Han Xiaopa saw Han Tianba's figure. Xiaopa. Han Tianba quickly walked up to him. How is it? How many competitions did Mr. Lin agree to participate in? Do you have a chance of winning? Grandpa, boss agreed to participate in the racing and single arena competitions, Han Xiaopa said. Han Xiaopa said, the racer boss said he's confident of winning, and he also has a chance of winning the single elimination tournament. Good, that's great. Han Tianba said happily. This is already beyond our expectations. If we can win in both competitions, then the two hidden houses that schemed against us will be at a disadvantage. When that happens, they won't be able to split the spoils evenly. Let's see if they still want to deal with us in the future. Yes, that's right. Han Xiaopa said. And with boss participating, they'll be a little more cautious in the future. That's right. Han Tianba nodded. He then remembered to ask Han Xiaopa, why did you come out now? Don't you want to spend more time with Mr. Lin? Chapter 2071. Small Chi-Gathering Pill? Han Tianba paused. What do you want a small Chi-Gathering pill for at this time? I don't know, but boss must have his reasons, Han Xiaopa said. Alright, come with me. Han Tianba said, bring the materials for the Chi-Gathering pill to Mr. Lin as well. Han Xiaopa nodded and followed Han Tianba to the hidden Han family's treasure vault. The hidden Han family's treasure vault was located in the most secretive place in the entire Han family's manor. Its security was no less than that of a large bank's vault. Other than a password and key, it could only be opened with Han Tianba's fingerprint. After entering the treasure vault, Han Tianba didn't linger. He took out the materials for the Chi-Gathering pill and a small Chi-Gathering pill and gave them to Han Xiaopa. Everything is here. Bring them to Mr. Lin. I won't be going. I'll sort out some treasures for the Hidden House Summit. Yes, Grandpa. Han Xiaopa nodded and carefully carried the sealed bag and the pill box to Lin Yi's room. After returning to Lin Yi's room, Han Xiaopa placed the two items on the table in front of Lin. You're back. What's this? Lin Yi asked when he saw Han Xiaopa bring two items. These are the materials for the Chi-Gathering pill. Han Xiaopa pointed at the sealed bag, then at the pill box, saying, inside is the small Chi-Gathering pill. Lin Yi nodded. You brought the materials for the Chi-Gathering pill too. Yes, since I promised boss, of course I had to bring them, Han Xiaopa said. Alright. Lin Yi opened the sealed bag and looked inside. It really was the materials for the Chi-Gathering pill. Lin Yi had the recipe for the Chi-Gathering pill, so Lin Yi naturally remembered what was written on it. These materials were roughly enough to refine about 5 Chi-Gathering pills. Lin Yi did not stand on ceremony and immediately put them away. He did not even bother to examine the small Chi-Gathering pill. Instead, he pointed at Han Xiaopa and said, You, sit over here. Yes. Han Xiaopa didn't know what Lin Yi wanted to do, but she still sat down respectfully beside Lin Yi's sofa. In a while, don't mention what I'm going to do to anyone, including your grandfather. Lin Yi said, Can you do this? Han Xiaopa nodded without hesitation. He had a premonition that the reason why Lin Yi had asked him to bring the pill was definitely not simple. There had to be something inside that he didn't know. Perhaps Lin Yi could activate the effect of the pill and allow him to go from the middle phase of the golden class to the early phase of the mystic class? No, the early phase of the mystic class was a bit of a waste. Could it be the middle phase of the mystic class? Alright, give me your hands and start channeling your cultivation method at full force. Lin Yi said. Full force? Han Xiaopa was slightly taken aback. Lin Yi said, When I say start, you start. Han Xiaopa was even more confused, but he still nodded in agreement. Lin Yi grabbed Han Xiaopa's hands and buckled his pulse. Then, he channeled the second stage of the art of dragon mastery and said, You can start now. As soon as Lin Yi's voice fell, Han Xiaopa started channeling his Nigong. In a split second, a wave of pure true qi was transferred from Lin Yi to Han Xiaopa's arm through the meridians. Han Xiaopa was shocked and horrified. However, even though Han Xiaopa was shocked, he didn't stop. He followed Lin Yi's instructions and channeled his Nigong at full force. In the next moment, Han Xiaopa felt an overwhelming amount of true qi rush into his body. It was as if this true qi was tailor-made for him. As long as he channeled the Nigong and absorbed it into his body, his strength would increase at a speed that he could feel. Although Han Xiaopa didn't know how Lin Yi did it, he knew that Lin Yi must have given him some benefits. The second stage of the art of dragon mastery was much faster than the first stage. Han Xiaopa was a middle phase of the golden class, but his strength was rapidly increased by Lin Yi. Peak of the middle phase of the golden class, late phase of the golden class, peak of the late phase of the golden class. Full completion of the late phase of the golden class, straight to the mystic class. This was the second time that Lin Yi leveled up a golden class to the mystic class without any hindrance. There was no sense of a barrier between levels. Han Jingjing was like this before, and now Han Xiaopa was the same. Was there a connection? If there was a connection between these two, it would be that they both had the surname Han. However, Lin Yi was more inclined to think that this was the effect of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. When helping people level up with the first stage of the art of dragon mastery, whether it was in terms of speed or level barrier, it was not as refreshing as the second stage. Before, Lin Yi thought that Han Jingjing's auxiliary alchemist art didn't have a level barrier, but now it seemed that it wasn't the case. It was just that compared to the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, there was no barrier. Han Xiaopa was surprised to feel his strength skyrocketing. From the golden class to the early phase of the mystic class, and that wasn't all. After reaching the mystic class, his strength was still increasing. Could it be that this was the legendary skill transfer? But at this time, Han Xiaopa didn't dare to question it. He only thought about it in his heart, his whole body still focused on absorbing the pure qi that Lin Yi was transferring to him. Mystic late phase, peak of the late phase. Mystic late phase full circle, only one step away from the earth class. At this time, the pure qi transfer from Lin Yi's side came to an abrupt stop. Alright, that's enough. Take this little qi gathering pill. After that, you'll be in early phase of the earth class. Lin Yi pointed at the small qi gathering pill on the table. He was a little envious of Han Xiaopa's luck. It was extremely difficult for Lin Yi to break through himself, but it was easy for him to help others. Alright. Han Xiaopa had a lot of questions in his heart, but since Lin Yi told him to take the pill now, he took it without hesitation. After that, a wave of pure energy spread in his abdomen. This wasn't the first time Han Xiaopa had taken a pill. He quickly closed his eyes and activated his Nigong, trying his best to dissolve this pure energy. Lin didn't disturb him, but sat on the side to protect him. Chapter 2072. Plus, this pill was only useful when a mystic late phase peak was about to break through to the earth class. The effect wouldn't be as great after reaching the earth class, and the increase in strength would be very limited. So it was better to let Han Xiaopa take it now. The effect of the lesser qi gathering pill wasn't as strong as the qi gathering pill, but Lin Yi had experienced it when he broke through from mystic late phase peak to the earth class. That kind of torment was very painful for any practitioner, and Han Xiaopa wasn't any better. But Lin Yi believed that this bit of difficulty was nothing to Han Xiaopa. If he couldn't even get through this pain, then he'd have no future. When the qi around Han Xiaopa thinned out, Lin Yi knew that Han Xiaopa had completed his breakthrough. He was officially an Earth Class Early Phase Master, stepping into the ranks of practitioners. As expected, Han Xiaopa opened his eyes, surprised and happy. He reached out his hands in disbelief. "Boss, I'm an Earth Class Early Phase Master now?" "Earth Class Early Phase, of course." Lin Yi nodded calmly. This is amazing." Han Xiaopa still felt like he was in a dream. "Boss, is this the legendary transfer of strength?" "You can think of it that way," Lin Yi said. "But remember, don't tell anyone about this." "I know." Han Xiaopa nodded. "Even if Grandpa asks, I won't say anything." In actuality, Han Xiaopa had gathered a large amount of qi around him when he broke through. This was the difference between his breakthrough and Lin Yi's transfer of strength. When Lin Yi transferred strength, he would use the qi, unless he used compressed qi to help someone break through. Normally, he wouldn't use qi when he helped someone break through. The spiritual energy that Han Xiaopa had mobilized naturally attracted the attention of all the cultivators in the hidden Han family, especially Old Man Han, Han Tianba. However, Han Tianba rationally told his family not to disturb or ask about it. Regardless of whether it was Lin Yi or Han Xiaopa who broke through, it would be beneficial to the hidden Han family, so why bother asking about it? As long as you don't speak nonsense, you'll be rewarded in the future. Earth class late phase peak and sky class is not impossible. Lin Yi said faintly, "This is the benefit of being my follower." "Yes, boss." Han Xiaopa's eyes were burning with passion. Earth class late phase peak? Or even heaven rank? This was a realm that Han Xiaopa could only dream of reaching in the past. Now, it was no longer so unreachable. Above the Earth class, the only pill that can be taken is the Qi gathering pill, but even I can't refine it now, let alone your family. Lin Yi said faintly, "Your aptitude isn't very good, so there's no point in continuing to cultivate by yourself. I don't think you'll make any progress, so if you have the time, you'd better study martial skills. As for your strength, when I reach a higher realm, I'll help you increase it again." Lin Yi didn't directly explain that his improved strength could no longer absorb heaven and earth qi through his own cultivation, but from the fact that Han Xiaopa was still able to use the qi gathering pill, it was clear that the energy from the pill was still very effective for practitioners like Lin Yi. Lin Yi himself was also an example. Han Xiaopa naturally believed whatever Lin Yi said. He didn't doubt Lin Yi's words at all. If his aptitude was good, would he still be in the middle phase of the golden class? So what Lin Yi told him was priceless advice. If he wanted Han Xiaopa to study martial skills, then he would study martial skills. As for the matter of increasing his strength, that would be left to Lin Yi. But Han Xiaopa was a little surprised. Even if Lin Yi could impart his strength, where did Lin Yi's pure qi come from? Why did it look like Lin Yi wasn't affected in any way? Or was he still as spirited as ever, without the slightest bit of pure qi loss? "You'll study the techniques tomorrow. You'll be on the stage with me during the double arena," Lin Yi said. "You just need to protect yourself, I'll take care of the enemy." "Okay, boss. I won't let you down." Han Xiaopa was surprised and happy. If the hidden house of Han were to win another match, then it would be even more of a deterrent to those hidden families who were plotting against the hidden house of Han. They would be shooting themselves in the foot. "Then which hidden house do you think is stronger in the duel?" Lin Yi asked. "I think this match is designed for the hidden house of Zhuang," Han Xiaopa said. "I heard that the two brothers from the hidden house of Zhuang have been training hard ever since they came back from the Ice Palace trial. They've also taken some spiritual medicine, and their strength has increased to mid and peak earth class. Plus, their martial skills complement each other, so their chances of winning are very high." "Oh? Niao Zhuang? Lin Yi, naturally, knew about the hidden house of Zhuang. These two had been kissing Nai Peo's ass during the Ice Palace trial, but when Lin Yi crippled Nai Peo, they were begging for mercy and calling him Masterling. It was only natural that Lin Yi had some impression of these two pieces of trash. "That's right." Han Xiaopa nodded. "Boss, you've heard of them?" "I've heard of them, but I didn't think that their strength would have increased so much," Lin Yi said with a sigh. "Not at first, but I heard that the hidden house of Zhuang bought 2 qi gathering pills from the hidden house of Tang at a high price. Plus, the two brothers took a lot of spiritual medicine, so their strength increased by leaps and bounds," Han Xiaopa explained. "Hidden house of Tang?" Lin Yi frowned. The name sounded familiar, as if he'd heard it somewhere before, but it didn't seem like he had anything to do with it. "That's right, it's a hidden house as well. I heard that their ancestor was a disciple of the Tang sect, and they're experts in hidden weapons and poison," Han Xiaopa explained. "I'm afraid that this hidden weapon evasion match will be won by the hidden house of Tang. I don't know how the hidden house Zhuang managed to get the hidden house Tang to sell them 2 little qi gathering pills." Lin Yi was a little surprised. These little qi gathering pills had to be very precious.